Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
New family of EC polymer notes launched. Details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Wednesday, May 29th, I am Rakisha St. Louis. Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, who is also the chairman of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank's Monetary Council, on Wednesday launched the new family of EC polymer notes. The new polymer notes are more resistant to dirt and moisture and therefore more durable than the paper notes currently in circulation. Dr. Mitchell hailed the occasion as historic, noting that the ECCB is the first central bank in the Caribbean to issue an entire family of notes on polymer. This is therefore a significant achievement for the bank and by extension for all members of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. The Prime Minister commended the Governor and the staff of the ECCB for the initiative.
The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, to me, is creating history today. I'm therefore heartened to be part of this occasion. The ECCB is the first central bank, if we didn't know it, in the Caribbean to issue an entire family of notes in polymer. This is therefore a significant achievement for the bank and by extension for all members of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Today's launch of the new family of EC polymer notes provides a clear demonstration of the bank's leadership, innovation and commitment to protecting our currency.
Wednesday's launch included the unveiling of the newly designed $50 note, which now bears the image of former ECCB Governor Sir Dwight Venner, who served in that capacity for 26 years. Dr. Mitchell said Sir Dwight must be recognized for the tremendous contribution he made to the ECCB and to the region.
Today's event therefore takes on added significance because it also marks the launch of the newly designated $50 note, which now includes a portrait of the former governor of the ECCB, the late Sir Dwight Venner, and in honor of his legacy and service to the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Sir Dwight must be recognized for the tremendous contribution he has made, giving human service to the ECCB and to the region as a whole. The Council is therefore pleased to unveil this $50 note in his honor and in his memory.
An encapsulated $50 note was presented to Sir Dwight's widow, Lady Linda Venner, who attended the launch, which was streamed live to other member states of the Currency Union. Still with news from the ECCB, while the EC polymer notes are being introduced, its phased introduction will mean that paper notes will still be in circulation. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank on Wednesday unveiled the $50 note, which bears the signature of Grenadian Governor Dr. Timothy Antoine for the first time since he was appointed to the position in 2016. The launch of the polymer notes is in keeping with the ECCU's 2017-2021 strategic plan focused on transforming the ECCU together. Polymer banknotes are produced from a thin, transparent and flexible plastic film, which gives it high security value. They are resistant to water and other liquids, resistant to dirt and moisture, and are eco-friendly. ECCB's Governor Dr. Timothy Antoine said although the polymer notes are expensive to produce in the first instance, the overall cost of production and handling is reduced in the long run.
Polymer notes are more cost-effective than paper. Although polymer notes are more expensive to produce up front, Their extended lifespan means that the notes are replaced less often. Consequently, there will be a reduction in transportation and handling costs, thus reducing the overall cost of cash for the ECCB, commercial banks, and credit unions. As part of our due diligence, the ECCB consulted with colleagues from the Bank of England, the Bank of Scotland, and the Bank of Canada about their experiences with changing from paper to polymer. Compared to paper notes, polymer notes are cleaner, resistant to dirt and moisture, more secure. They have advanced security features which make them harder to counterfeit. More durable. They last at least 3 times longer than paper.
Dr. Antoine says the new banknotes will be circulated in phases before the current paper notes are completely eliminated. The ECCB will reduce the $50 notes first, followed by the $100, $20, and $10 notes by September of this year.
Both our paper and polymer notes will be in circulation at the same time. And I want to assure you that they are both legal tender. So you don't need to rush to the bank and bring in your paper to get polymer. They will, and let's be clear, there is no point at this stage in destroying absolutely good paper notes. That would be wasteful and irresponsible. So we'll use them until their natural life ends and we will replace them. So for a period of time, we will have both. And they are both legal tender, so just be assured of that. In respect of the rollout, our current projection is the $100, $20, and $10 notes will be issued around September. And I say around because depending on demand, it could be a little earlier, it could be a little later. And the $5 note around September next year.
This is the National Report. We'll have more news after the break.
The excitement builds for the Grenada Music Festival 2019. 3 nights of pulsating live music and great food. The festival kicks off on Friday, June 7th with Rhythm and Soul, featuring Freddie Jackson, Carrie Hilson, Eddie Bullen, Jefferson Ramirez and the Solid Band, and more. Saturday is Reggae Fest with performances by Busy Signal, Maxi Priest, Kamani Marley, and a special surprise guest. The festival climaxes on Sunday, June 9th with Soca Fusion featuring the All-Stars with Blacks and Teddyson John, Patrice Roberts, Was Ways, and many more. General admission Friday and Saturday $80. Sunday you pay only $60. Limited early bird, season pass, and VIP tickets now available at gotofet.com. It's the most talked about event of the year, GMF 2019. June 7th to 9th. Get your tickets today.
Welcome back. Keeping the brain mentally alert by eliminating the use of calculators to solve math problems has its many advantages. Students are now putting these skills to the test in the Dennis Bell Mental Mathematics Quiz. The Southern Zone competition began recently. We get more details from Annette Moore.
The objectives of this competition are to encourage the teachers and students to engage in at least 15 minutes of simple mental arithmetic on a daily basis, including calculation strategies acquired in basic number facts, in addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, to consolidate and extend mental arithmetic strategies in calculations, to raise the achievement level in mathematics, and by extension all other subject areas, and to allow students to compete in an exciting and friendly manner throughout the school year.
Half of a right angle is joined to a straight line. What is the size of the new angle formed?
225 degrees.
Correct answer.
This competitive event consists of 4 sections, which are mental arithmetic, math Jeopardy, and the bonus and power round. It takes place on 4 levels, namely the class, school, district, and national level. The winners at the various district levels represent their district at the national level.
The school that wins here will compete with the one that wins in the Northern Zone, and that winning school will move on to represent District 5 in the National Mental Maths Quiz.
GIS sat in on one quiz which took place at the St. George's Methodist School on May 22nd. 4 schools were represented at this event: St. George's Methodist, St. George's Seventh-day Adventist, South St. George Government, and the Monjaloo RC schools.
What is the place value of the 5 in the decimal 16.2351?
Thousands with a TH in the end.
That's correct.
South St. George emerged in the lead after that quiz. For the National Report, I'm Annette Moore.
That story just brought the curtains down on the National Report for today. Let's recap the top story. New family of EC polymer notes launched. On behalf of everyone here at the Government Information Service who made this newscast possible, I am Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.
It's coming, the new family of EC polymer notes.
What is different about these notes?
The feel.
Polymer notes are made from a thin plastic film which makes the notes feel smoother than the paper notes.
The orientation.
The notes have a portrait orientation. You will read the notes from top to bottom instead of left to right as you do with the paper notes.
Unique tactile feature.
The front of each note has raised bumps at the top left-hand corner. These bumps form shapes that are familiar to you.
Holographic foil strip.
This feature is on the $20, $50, and $100. When you tilt the notes, the images and colors in this section will change.
New image on the $50.
The back of the $50 bears the image of former governor of the ECCB, the late Honorable Sir K. Dwight Venner.
New signature.
All the notes bear the signature of the current governor, Timothy N.J. Antoine.
EC polymer notes. Cleaner, safer, stronger.
Every summer, the Spice Island of Grenada is transformed into the Caribbean's biggest party, Spice Man.
Coming down to Grenada.
Come experience the warmth of our people, trending theme fats, the revelry, the pageantry, and why we are the Jab Nation. The Kids Our Future shines on August 3rd in the Children's Carnival Frolic and the Junior Calypso Show. 7 beauties take center stage as the Queen of Carnival is crowned on majestic Thursday, August 8th. The prestigious Soca and Groovy Monarchs are crowned on Carnival Friday night, August 9th. Enjoy the pulsating rhythms of the Still Pan at the Junior and the Senior Panorama on Carnival Saturday, August 10th, and Real Steel, August 17th. The March Gras crowns the Calypso Monarch on Carnival Sunday, August 11th. 2 days of frolicking in the Caribbean sun kicks off on Monday morning, August 12th, with the biggest juve in the world. Followed by pageant and Monday night mass. The creativity and splendor of our mass parades on the road Carnival Tuesday, August 13th. Join us in the Jab Nation of Grenada, August 8th to 12th for Spice Mass 2019. Many events, one carnival.
So there's no reason to fight. I know you heard this before. Life is how you make it, so be honorable. But when you sit in a state of idleness, that making your mind simple. Now all you should know, your mind is the center of your universe. A bad thing to waste, yes man, in all different sizes, and in your head it was placed to uplift and elevate those around me with tremendous grace. Positive is always the way to go. I want to please stay away from his, because I say, oh my, will gossip, illiteracy, simple mind, talk about places that they could never be. Ordinary mind, speak about events and personalities. But good mind speak about ideas, and great mind speaks philosophy.
Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, and Pity Martinique. Once again, it is time for Hard Talk. My name is Sheldon Scott.
I'm Devon Romain.
And you are listening to Hard Talk, and we're broadcasting on 97.5 CitysoundFM,
89.5 CRFM,
92.9 on the Sister Isles of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Yeah, the only hard talk in Carriacou and Petit Martinique.
Yeah, only hard talk.
Can't play anything else named hard talk right now. Try it now.
And 94.9 We Noise Radio, Brooklyn, New York. Good morning to everyone.
Yes, indeed. And we're also on Facebook at Hard Talk Grenada Live. We're on YouTube as Hard Talk Grenada and our website www.hardtalkgrenada.com. Let me give you that website again, www.hardtalkgrenada.com. You get video and audio via that website. All right? Nice, beautiful. And we're going to have the lines open throughout the program today. 443-7377. Yeah, and the overseas number?
Is 347-329-3101.
Yeah, just to let you all know some of what is taking place right now.
Just a slight error there, Sheldon. You said 443. 440.
440?
7377.
All right, good.
Okay.
All you have it there now? Nice. 440. The Inland Revenue Division, remember, they have their outreach, and that starts today. Yeah, they're going to be in St. David. In fact, they're already there, and they would be there they've been there from 8 a.m. this morning, and they're going up until 5 p.m. this afternoon. So that's at St. David at the District Revenue Office. So in case you've got your property tax and so on and you want to ask a question, yeah, you could go on out there and you could check up on that. All right, nice. You know, I didn't start the recording yet. Let me make sure I start my recording, man. Hey, what thing is that? Yes, again, yeah. So for those of you, the Inland Revenue Department, yeah, they are out in St. David today from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. at the District Revenue Office. If you've got any questions that you would like to ask in relation to your land tax or any other taxes, or you want to pay your taxes, you have any queries to know if you qualify or so on, yeah, you can go on out there and you can speak to the Inland Revenue Department live and direct at the Revenue Office out there in St. David today. Tomorrow, they move to the Grenville car park. Yeah? So that the car park in Grenville tomorrow. All right? Nice. Beautiful. Also tomorrow, the NNP, yeah, they have their fundraiser After Work Lime. That's taking place at the Mount Helicon grounds starting from 4 p.m. tomorrow. So the NNP Lime, it's on tomorrow, yeah, at the Mount Helicon, starting at 4 p.m. tomorrow. So remember, you get chicken and chips, fried breadfruit, lambi waters, Bigfoot sauce, fried roast bakes, fried fish, barbecue, and an ice cold bar awaits you. So head on up to the Mount Helicon tomorrow. Yeah, you could interact with your various members of parliament and of the executive of the New National Party. And so, yeah, especially coming off a successful week. Yeah, we've been in Boca this week with the General Council, and we're ending off the week with this activity. Last weekend, we had the cricket competition, and you had the Women's Health Fair up there in St. George Northwest. You also had the Youth Forum taking place, very successful at the Grenada National Stadium. And tomorrow, yeah, we're getting together and relax. Not all the time business, work. Relaxing tomorrow. So, yeah, take the time, make a little pass from 4 p.m. until. All right? Nice.
Yeah, and moving on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday the 16th day of June 2019, the St. Andrew Southwest Women's Arm present Father's Day King Show. Yeah, the venue, the Deluxe Cinema, Grenville. Time, 5 p.m. Price, $20 per ticket. Right? Come out and support the 6 handsome young men vying for the title. Right? So it's the 16th of June. Right? Sunday, the 16th of June at the Deluxe Cinema. Right? Come out and support the St. Andrews Southwest Women's Arm as they present. Right? Father's Day King Show. Okay? And also, Saturday, that's Saturday the 1st of June. That's this coming Saturday. Yeah, at the Marquee Basketball Court, right? St. Andrews Southeast. Yeah, they will be having their breakfast. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, at the Marquee.
Yeah, at the Marquee, right? Breakfast and so, right? For early in the morning. And so there'll be cultural activities and other entertainment. And so we have bakes, you have saltfish, smoke carrying fish, chicken, and everything like that. So go out there, get it hot, and support the St. Andrews Southeast constituency branch, all right?
Okay. And folks, remember the phone number 440-7377. That's 440-7377.
And 347-329-3101.
Also, the New National Party, we're doing a series of village meetings. And for those of you in St. David, next week, Tuesday, they'll be in Vineyard Preschool. Yeah, in the Vineyard Preschool. That's next week, Tuesday, for those of you in St. David. And next week, Thursday, they'll be at Pastor Cecil residence in Mardi Gras. So next week, Tuesday, they're in the Vineyard Preschool. And next week, Thursday, they're going to be at the Pastor Cecil's residence in Mardi Gras. For those of you in St. Andrew Southeast, on the 12th of June, the team will be out there in Post Royal, and on the 19th in Grenville. All right? So also for St. David, on the 11th, they by Jacinta Mitchell's shop, and on the 13th, they at the St. Dominic RC School. Right? For St. George Southeast, next week Tuesday, they're in Laborie at the Community Center, and in Paddock at the Gazebo next week Thursday. All right? And then on the 11th, they're in St. Paul's at Mount Airy, and on the 13th in Hopevale by Angelino. All right? So we're going to keep reminding you. Also, the St. George Southeast constituency, the seed officer. Now, the seed officer will be at the Laborie Community Center this Sunday from 2 p.m. until. And they'll be there to assist people in helping out fill the vouchers for the uniform program. So it's starting the process of filling out vouchers for the uniform program. So that will be taking place this Sunday from 2 p.m. The seed officer will be there at the Laborie Community Center, and they'll be helping persons fill out their vouchers for the seed program. All right? So if you know you had to go and fill out your thing. All right?
Yeah,
nice.
Do it early. Yeah, I want to say good morning to all of you who have just joined us on the live. Yeah, wonderful, beautiful morning in Spice Country. Morning to Carriacou and PD Martinique. Yeah, the Sister Isles. Carol and all the staff at Paddy's. Yeah, good morning to all of you. Yes, Carol, I'll take care of that baby. You know?
All right. And hey, folks, remember the New National Party U-Term. They have that massive bingo. It's coming up on the 22nd of June, but we have a caller online.
Good morning and welcome.
Morning, Scott.
Morning, sir.
Morning, Devon.
Morning, friend.
I hardly get a chance to listen, man. I listen attentively. Yeah, concerning, prior to 2008, the other person was getting on about health. Like they have every solution for health. And when the time reach now, like, the dominators take them. They come there, they couldn't do nothing. They can't say nothing. I know, I realize the next one emerging again, under the NEC again. He's the greatest in health. I just like to know if you have any idea how much patent he have in health. Because nobody we get that like, I tell yourself like, because he's the best health man, and he's saying who to fire and how fire health man. So I would like to know if he really have any patent in health and what is the achievement in health, and so that concerning the NHI. My opinion, I think the VAT is the best thing. The VAT, everybody across the board paying. You don't know what you want, everybody, so it's a fair. To me, they have a fair chance concerning the NHI. The fair chance is the VAT. You can understand, they have to pay politics with that again. Just like, I don't expect the NHI to support anything good, because they say yes to the slave masters. You council time, when they vote, they say yes to the slave master and no to the people. So I don't expect that. The only thing they'll say yes to when is negativity. Yes, so they say yes to the slave master during the referendum. So I don't expect them to say something, because there is something good coming up. Take care, Mr. Scott and Devon.
All right, my friend. A wonderful day.
Well, my friend, what we will do for you in a while is we will play what was said by the Honorable Minister, because the option of that is not the only option. And what we're saying here is that there are a number of options that have been put forward that Cabinet will meet and discuss. And if you or anybody as a Grenadian has an idea of what better can be done, because what we all will admit is that it needs to be done.
Has to be done.
I think every serious Grenadian who isn't blinded by any nonsensical hate of individuals or hate of organizations and so on, any sensible Grenadian will say that we do need national health insurance. You have individuals who, from time to time, we have people who end up having to go on dialysis.
Yeah.
Very expensive treatment. Even if you're quote-unquote wealthy, it still is expensive for even wealthy persons. Some people, they decide that instead of going through the treatment here, they will leave and go through the treatment in another country. Yeah, even though it's available locally, and government has been working along with, I think it's Bayer, one of the pharmaceutical companies, to provide an alternative type of dialysis treatment through the general hospital. Even though all of that is taking place, the cost of dialysis treatment, even subsidized by the government, is still extremely expensive.
Thousands of dollars.
Yeah. The cost of various other treatments that Grenadians need to access from time to time is also expensive, and it has nothing to do with any taxes or anything here in Grenada. It has to do with what the cost of obtaining it is outside of Grenada, because these things are not produced in Grenada. That is why the minister spoke of several options. And in fact, I think the better thing to do is to let you hear what the minister had to say in relation to that. So what we're going to do now is play Minister Steele. Yeah. Don't take our word for it. Listen to what Minister Steele had to say.
We can offer or should offer is dependent on what we are prepared to pay and where we get the funding from. So there are various options that have been presented. And I want to be clear, these are options for consideration. Any of these options that I list here is not a decision that is to be implemented, but it is for discussion for us to decide as a party, as a people, as a nation, for your government to decide which is the most acceptable option or group of options. So first and foremost is that there is a recommendation within the region that every government should be giving 10% of its national budget to healthcare. Your government right now gives 7.5, the most that any government in the past has given. So we are increasing that amount. That 7.5, if it were to change to 10%, would result instead of to 84 million into healthcare. That is going to bridge some of the gap. The total cost of all of the things I mentioned before is 181 million a year. So 84 million can come from government increasing its budget. But remember, it's a decision and a discussion. When we increase the budget into healthcare, it comes from somewhere else. It may come from education, it may come from works, it will come from somewhere else. So that's a discussion that we have to have. Other option is an increase in value-added tax. Right now we pay 15%. The suggestion or contemplation is that value-added tax can increase from 15 to 17%, and that 2% goes straight to healthcare. But you know, that is part of your healthcare. So the more you spend, those who spend more are contributing more. Third option is a payroll tax, to put a percentage, an additional percentage, like you pay NIS now, to put an additional percentage that's for NHI. Those who are working, the more money your salary is, the more that 6% contribution is. Again, an option. There are other combinations that we are looking at that will move forward. One is reinsurance, taking some of the money and passing it on to a larger insurance company, international insurance company, so that they will deal with more of the costs. And we pay a smaller amount upfront and they cover more of the costs at the end. Another option is to implement tax on visitors, for instance. Many countries in the region do have that, where they may charge a $10 or $20 or $50 for every tourist that comes in. And that's an insurance tax, and that goes straight to health insurance. But it does mean on the flip side that any one of those individuals gets sick while they're in Grenada, you have to give them the full coverage, just like any one of us. We also are looking at options with respect to CBI, those individuals who have invested in CBI, and there are other options with respect to partnering with other entities. For instance, some of us have been fortunate when we fall upon certain illnesses to have been treated in Cuba for certain treatment that cannot be offered here in Grenada. So an option is to negotiate with governments like Cuba, like Colombia, and others in the region to pay up front for more of our citizens to go. So pay rather than just be taking what they give to us as free. So those are the combinations that we have to look at.
Yeah, so those are the options that are on the table, and I think the minister was extremely careful when he made his opening statement when he said these are the options.
Options, specifically, you know.
He did not make a final statement, did he?
Nope.
All right. Maybe some other individuals. I'm seeing a lot of people from overseas, for instance, who are based in the US and Canada and the UK and as far away as Germany and so on. They're making suggestions. Well, in some instances, they've just been attacking what has been said without suggestions. And I'm saying that freedom of speech, make suggestions. Maybe there is something that the committee hasn't considered, that no one has said, that might work better than any of those things.
Exactly, and that is why we need to follow the consultations, make your suggestions, whatever forum you can get to, right, to discuss it. Discuss and you know, give suggestions. You never know, you know, what we will end up with, but we have to end up with something because the national health insurance is a must.
Yeah, and remember, even if they're saying a payroll tax, okay, so you're going to pay $2. Let's say you pay $2, $3. It's not going to be an exorbitant amount like you're paying $100 and something or this kind of thing, unless your salary is into the 10,000 or so. That's when you might pay
grand, yeah, you know.
But if you earn more, you pay more. But on average, you might find people paying something like $5, $10, whatever it is. Yeah. And you're paying that a month. And even by the end of the year, sometime you may find that you still don't spend $100 as your contribution towards the national health insurance. Yeah. And notice, I'm not saying this is what will happen. Again, because there are people trying to misrepresent what has been said and what is being said. There are people that are openly trying to misrepresent. Yeah? Now, even if that's what you're spending, you, the individual, you're spending $5 or $10. You would not be spending, unless you're somewhere high salary, you might be spending hundreds of dollars. But a $5 or $10 or whatever it is that you are paying towards a national health insurance, if something happens to you, the treatment that you have to receive would cost a lot more than that.
Yeah.
A lot more than that. In fact, sometimes the treatment might have to be like if you was paying $1,000 a month, because our good friend at the hospital, remember, he told us that he got leptospirosis.
Cost him
$15,000 in dialysis treatment. Yeah? Now, if he was paying into a health insurance, and some people have health insurance, and so that they're paying according to your age, and so when you enter, you know, they give you a different cost and this kind of thing. Some people have health insurance where they're paying $50, some people have health insurance where they're paying $100 and something. Different people have health insurance, and so apparently he didn't have that. So he had to find money, and luckily he had people that could have helped him, and they helped him to be able to handle that bill because he had to do dialysis. Yeah? So we're saying that that is an option that's there, but maybe you may have a different option. But if you realize there are many people that are void of any sort of intellect on different issues, so they make a lot of noise. They're like the market vendor that goes down to the market and they shouting and they cussing everybody that pass, and they're making a lot of noise, and at the end of the day they go home with everything that was on the table.
And not only that, they making noise and they didn't have nothing to sell.
Yeah. So we have a caller.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Yes. How you doing, my friend?
I'm okay.
Okay, nice to hear you.
Fighting.
All right. Never give up.
Yeah, I want to concur with that last caller pertaining to NHI. And I think the government should obtain that money through the VAT. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Where let everybody pay. You purchase something in the shop, no matter how small you are, you're getting the money. Because when they're sick, that is the money that will look after them. Capish?
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
All right.
brother.
All right, my friend. You take care.
What of the option, and some people
Yeah.
call it a sin tax, of increasing your VAT on items that cause illness?
Like alcohol,
Yeah, obviously.
cigarettes.
Yeah. Although, strange enough, someone may say I'm wrong. I don't find Grenada is a smoking society.
Not as heavy, I don't think, no. Not
Grenada
with
is not
cigarettes.
really. Cigarettes sell, Don't get it wrong.
It
Cigarettes
sells,
sell.
but we're not up there.
It's not like some countries where you go and you see like cigarette butts all over the place.
Yeah,
You could
chain
walk in St.
smokers,
George.
yeah.
You could walk in St. George from now until next week and not see a cigarette butt on the ground.
Yeah, you have to keep
You
your
have to
eyes.
look for that.
Yeah.
You don't see a cigarette butt on the ground anywhere. You go in Grenville, you go in Guave, you go all over. You ain't seen that, but you would try that in Trinidad or some part of the States. You see cigarette butts all over the place and that kind of thing.
When you have designated smoking areas. Too.
But what about a sin tax? Placing increased taxation on items that cause people to end up in situation because they're buying the packs of cigarettes, yeah, and I don't know how much for a box of cigarettes, I have no idea. But whatever you're paying for the pack of cigarette could never come up to the thousands and tens of thousands of dollars to take care of you when you get a lung cancer.
Exactly.
And next thing, government had to try and fly you out to Cuba to try and get treatment, or you have to get treatment here and so on, and all the medication, and plus the bed space that you're taking up that some other person could have been using because you decided you want to smoke. Or you decide you want to abuse alcohol, so you're drinking the alcohol, you're drinking it. No, I don't have a problem with drinking alcohol, I have a problem with abusing alcohol. So you decide you're going to abuse it, your kidneys and your liver shut down and so on. Then you go to the general hospital and you have to receive medication that's costing tens of thousands of dollars over a period of time. Or worse yet, if you end up on dialysis. Yeah, where you have to get treatment, I think at least 3 times a week.
Yeah, 3 times a
And
week.
over $1,000 a treatment or something like that.
1,000 a pop.
So you're going to find yourself in a situation like that. So if you know that this is a possible outcome of your behavior and you've decided that you are going to continue that behavior, I believe that you should pay more for it. I have no problem with increasing the price on alcohol.
Yeah.
No problem with increasing the price on cigarettes.
Even carbonated beverages.
No problem with that.
All
Sugary
these
drinks,
things, yeah,
sugary drinks on a whole.
Yeah.
All things that contain significant amounts of sugar.
Yeah.
Snacks, where there's all kind of 50 and 60 cents and all this kind of
Yeah.
thing. I have no problem with the price becoming dollars.
Yeah.
I have no, because you're going to force some people to start to use mango and
Exactly.
sugar apple and soursop. It's going to force
Yeah.
some people to get a little container, cut up these things and put it in it instead of giving the children all of these
All
things
these
to go.
things, yeah.
It's going to force them into that situation. You've seen people with high blood pressure because of the amount of salt intake.
The amount of processed foods that we import and utilize. You know,
Yeah.
we need to cut down on so
Don't
on
worry,
these
I
things.
didn't call the minister yet, but I'm going to call the minister. We're going to get the amount of money that Grenadians spend on snacks.
Yeah, snacks
These
and
sugary
carbonated, yeah, sugary.
We, for instance, we here in Grenada, this country, we have one of the best rated cocoa on the planet.
Yeah.
And we're not just saying that because we're Grenadians. This is what is being said to us by the international community, that Grenada produces some of the richest, thickest, best cocoa on the planet. And the other thing is that they are glad. Companies like Nestle and so on, they want Grenada's cocoa because Grenada's cocoa does not have child labor involved in it. They don't have a set of little 8 and 9-year-olds who are taken out from school to work on the plantation picking cocoa. Yeah? It is ageable people. A child might go and help on the weekend, or when they come home from school and they just see the mother and the father and they go and they help.
But not
it's
leaving
not child
school.
labor
Nope.
being used to produce these things. So, with that said, Grenada's cocoa is well sought. But you know what happens to us? And this one, anyone who knows me personally, you see a lot of people who know you but they don't know you. But anybody who knows me personally and has interacted with me personally knows when I travel to never ask me to bring back chocolate. Never ask me. Sometimes you might end up with a $1 or $2 in your pocket and you just decide, boy, let me buy that and bring it for him. But it is something that generally, when people ask me to bring back chocolate, I say, why? You're in Grenada. So here am I going to leave Grenada to go and buy the same chocolate that probably come out of Grenada, buy it processed in the next place and bring it back just because it marked Cadbury's
And
it ain't marked Juve.
Yeah, he marked Juve. So the best.
We have here. We have that is produced here. And until that point in time, and folks, I want you to like and share the live. Like and share the live. Yeah? Until at that point in time that we also change our mentality, the National Health Insurance going to assist in but for a period of time. Because we're going to continue having people that fall down with chronic illnesses because they are not taking proper care of themselves.
Because it is a two-pronged solution. And while the government is trying to provide national health insurance, as a people, we need to be mindful of our eating habits, our spending habits, take care of ourselves, the exercising. We got to do another half. It's not just about providing health insurance. That's there. But if that is there and you as an individual not doing your part, eating the right foods and so, and doing what needs to be done, then we still have a problem. Primary health care is, fundamental.
National health insurance should be in case, there are some things that pop up on people, like for instance, I heard them speak about lupus.
Yeah.
It's not that you really do that causes lupus.
Unavoidable, yes.
You have lupus that comes up. People, sometimes you're born with a defect. Might be a heart defect, might be something.
Yeah.
You might have a problem with your spine. You might have different things that you might be born with that you didn't get because of bad behavior or your wrong choices and that sort of thing.
Brain tumors, these type of things.
These kind of things that just come up. Then that's one category of things. But the other things, and diabetes for itself, yes, you may have a predisposition to diabetes because you have it on one side or both sides of your family.
Sides of your family.
Same with hypertension, high blood pressure. You have it on one or both sides of your family. So you know that more than likely you can get it. But if you engage in the behaviors to make it come on, I know of people in their 30s right now who have lost part of their foot or the foot and thing due to diabetes in their 30s. One chap didn't even know. He had no idea that he had it until he ended up in the hospital.
Sickle cells again.
Sickle cell is something you don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You inherit these things.
If we change our approach and change our diet as a people, that's why we said, along with the fiscal responsibility that the IMF is speaking about, the government has been speaking about, and the government has made a priority. Fiscal responsibility is one thing, but national personal responsibility has to be something as well. We each have to take responsibility.
Has to be in the forefront.
That's one of the ways too that we have to make the national health insurance sustainable.
And successful.
For it to be sustainable and successful, there has to be a rethink among each and every Grenadian of how we treat ourselves and our bodies. And it can happen. Don't tell me it can't.
Good morning and welcome.
Yeah, good morning. I call back.
Yes, my friend.
Put it into the same NHI. What about persons that have medical insurance? Will be ceasing to pay that insurance?
I don't think so. I think there's a consideration for those persons. I can't remember exactly what it is. It was said, but I can't remember what it is. But there's a consideration for those persons of how that could be inculcated into the whole program. They did take into considerations those persons. I know I heard it at one of the forums, and I believe the minister did mention it in, not the piece that we played, but he did mention it in his presentation. I'll get it for you and let you know though, because it's important for persons who already are paying health insurance to know. All right, no problem.
All right, my friend.
Yeah, very important question, huh?
Yeah,
very important question, because you have many people that are paying health insurance.
A number of persons who are paying their health through either their job or even their personal, finances and so on. And that is, we need to, seek more information about that. And so, and look, the national health insurance, it is so important for us to have something like that going. Because, it is so good that when you have your children, you can start from a young age trying to groom them, teach them about the best eating habits. What are the best things to eat? How to keep themselves healthy. And that for the long term will enable, for example, the National Health Insurance to go longer, right? To be more beneficial and not put a strain because of our bad eating habits and everything like that.
Which one better? Golden apple juice or Flavor-Aid? Which one better?
Golden apple juice.
Or which one most people drinking right now?
Flavor-Aid.
All right. That says that we need a rethink, innit?
Exactly. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Romain.
Good morning to you, sir.
And pleasant morning to Mr. Scott and your listening audience. Gentlemen, I heard something this morning, and for a while, I could not have believed it. So I really had was to seek the necessary info. Now, like you all know, I am not a mailman, but I listen to all talk radios because I doesn't like second-hand information. And I cannot believe, this is my words here, I cannot believe that this morning I heard Brother Cam Jones tell his audience that the General Hospital don't have pediatricians. I cannot believe that. How come this guy could mislead, misinform, and straightforward lie to people like that? And the point is, they believe that kind of BS. So I want to know what is Dr. Donald in the hospital here? Dr. Belfon? Huh? Dr. Brathwaite? You know, these people walk straight out of this hospital. What are these folks here? You know, how can you be telling people, both yard and abroad, that this is the situation here in our hospital, and it's a lie? No, I doesn't take hospital thing, personal affairs. But listen, how bad can things be in this hospital here? When Mr. Jones' girlfriend was pregnant and to have the baby, this is the hospital they come. This is the hospital that everything was done successfully and worked out successfully. And still for all, you're giving people the impression that this hospital and the services here is going to hell in a handbasket. But listen, we have issues to criticize this government about, more than enough, in things of what have to be done, what should be done. But we should not purposely and intentionally doing this kind of nonsense. Now listen, and as a result of that, the NDC is drowned in and doing so very fast. It seems that they have lost the capacity to swim. So grabbing at straws is not even an option. So they are prepared to oppose every and anything that's been proposed or suggested by this government. They don't care if it is to benefit the youth, no. If it is to benefit the elderly, no. The students, no. Workers, no. They will oppose it by all means necessary. Mr. Scott, the NIS, this must be done in this term of the NNP. The NHI, this must be done in this term of the NNP. Yes, it's hard work, but that's why we elected them and gave them this unprecedented mandate, so they can take and make some hard and difficult decisions. They have our support, and yes, as supporters of the government, we should help them in educating and informing the public. But I will end by saying this year, my brother, there is too much bureaucracy in a democracy. Have a pleasant day, gentlemen.
You too, my friend. Have a wonderful day. You know, Sheldon.
So there are no pediatricians?
Yeah, you don't look so. I take issue with you, you know. I mean, I thought me and you was friend and thing. Son, I thought we go a long way. What this thing, I Shaggy giving you $50 and thing, I yourself saying, boy, give a boy a 20. What kind of thing?
Let me explain it. Shaggy has a program called Plead Your Cause. His program is not called Plead Your Pledge. Shaggy's program is called Plead Your Cause. There's another program on where the individual has Plead Your Pledge. Or they plead for your pledge.
Yeah, they plead for your pledge. Plead and beg for your pledge.
And if all you want to give them money, give them money. I don't have a problem with that.
That's your prerogative.
My problem, and let me explain clearly, my personal problem, I have no problem with individuals giving the individual money. That is their business as far as I'm concerned. Yeah? But don't look at Grenadians who need to go through the seed program because they're in need, or who need to go through some social welfare program because of their financial situation at this time, or some situation that they have at this time. Don't look at that person and then call them all kind of nasty names. When you're begging people for money that you're not paying NIS, and I wonder if you're paying your income tax. Yeah, I hope you're paying NIS and income tax because it is illegal.
To solicit.
NIS is a payment on your income, innit?
Exactly.
And income tax is to be paid by persons earning over a certain amount, innit? So if you're not paying your income tax, you're not paying your NIS, you're breaking the law of the country.
You're in serious problems.
And who need to check on it, to check on it.
And I just say, Sheldon, I have no problem in persons contributing. But when
That's not my business.
When you're trying to be on an air and institutionalizing the whole question of begging, I have a problem with that.
No, but my thing is I have no problem. Let her beg. Give down the beg. But don't come and watch the woman that has 3 children and an absentee father. Yeah?
Exactly.
Who is barely making ends meet and therefore sees the seed program as an opportunity to provide uniforms for her children so that they can go to school and they can gain an education.
To better themselves. That the farmer that may be doing a program and the Ministry of Agriculture has something offering fertilizer or something, and he decides, well, I want to be part of that program. That something is wrong with doing that. Or that the young person who is engaged in a program such as the Imani or so on, that something is wrong with being engaged in that program. Don't attack people for being involved in things because they are in a situation where they need that assistance. They're getting a hand up, not a handout. And that is the situation. That's why I am totally against the statements made by the individual. If they want to get money, that's not my business. I don't care. Get how you want.
I could care less. Yeah? As I said, the best thing is for that idiot to be on radio on a daily basis, acting the way they're acting and saying the things they're saying. That is the best thing for the new national party.
Of course. Continue to contribute to him, support him, let him stay there.
And to tell you just how good it is, that individual assisted in ensuring that the new national party secured all 15 seats last election.
Again.
Due to the statements they were making, due to their behavior. Why in God's blue, green, and colorful earth would I, in my commonsensical mind, want to see that person go? I want them stay right there and continue behaving just how they behaving and doing things just how they behaving. So all you, give them money. All right. We done on that, eh?
Yeah, we done on that. That's
right.
it.
Back to national
1 minute of fame.
Back to national health insurance. Some of the other options that were given, and callers, we done on that. We ain't going there again. Right. On national health insurance again, the other options were visitors' tax. But as the minister said, that would mean that the visitors are also covered under the health insurance. So if a visitor comes and they have a fall, they break a leg or something, they would receive all of the same treatment that a Grenadian would receive. Yeah, they would be covered under the health insurance. So they receive all the same treatment. I know St. Kitts, I believe, is one of the countries that has it. they have a visitor's tax, but they have it for the carnival season, I believe.
Yeah.
So that when you go there during carnival, the ticket price, or either don't know if they have it in the ticket or when you reach or when you're going or whatever, but there is a tax that you pay when you get there as a visitor during that period of time. Yeah? So I don't know if probably you look at that as something for Spice Mass for non-Grenadians. Can't make me pay for coming in my own country. You have to. Yeah. But for non-Canadians, or for during the cruise ship season, or whatever it is.
But
or across the board. Just
across the board. I think for those who are coming home from their vacation and so on, while they're here, right home, and so they need to ensure that they are medically covered. So I think, in my view, it should be across the board if you're thinking of something like that.
Yeah. There's the other option again that was mentioned of reinsurance. In other words, you get one of the big insurance companies, somebody that probably aligned with somebody like Lloyd's of London or whatever. So a big insurance company, and they give you, like, quote unquote, a group health insurance. You know, when you work with a company, sometimes they have a group health insurance. So that every worker within that company pays a little something towards a group health insurance, but anything wrong with you, you know that you are covered. You have health insurance. You
and
can
not
be
just
covered.
them, but them and their family.
Yeah. I think companies like Grenlec has it.
Yeah.
They have group health insurance. I think Nawasa probably has it too. One or two. I'm not sure, but I know Grenlec. And one or two other companies probably have it. They have the group health insurance. What a suggestion is that government look at something similar, like a group health insurance for the country. So government is paying on the lower end. Government is making the payments. From well, when I say government is making the payments, we as a people, we're making the payments, and we are covered by that company. So any service that we need, that company will cover it. Yeah, that company will cover it. And it's the companies like that, because the thing is that, yeah, you may be paying that small amount, but they might find themselves in a situation where they never had to pay out anything for you, but they might have to pay out for somebody else.
Exactly.
So companies, that's how business operates.
That's
so companies like that.
Yeah, especially in the risk business.
Yeah, because it has to be something that is sustainable.
Has to be.
The reinsurance one is sustainable because it's going to be based on the payments that are being made by people on a monthly basis, and so people making payments, and you reinsure with that company and so on, and that would be kind of more sustainable. Because remember, with the national health insurance, you're saying now that, as the minister said, 10% of your national budget has to be geared towards health. That's what is being suggested. Grenada is now at 7.5. And with the present administration at 7.5, it's still more than any other administration in the past in Grenada's history. 7.5 now is the highest percentage of budget that has ever been dedicated towards health. Yeah? And government is intending to move it the other 2.5% up to 10%. Up to 10%. At the 10%, it's going to cost the government, just the government, not talking about everybody else adding into it now, $84 million. That's going to be $84 million. To get to the 10% though, it means that you may have to remove a little something from other areas. So you might have to chop a little something here, you chop a little something there to get to that 84 million, that 10% at the $84 million. But national health insurance is going to cost a total of $181 million to be able to offer the basket of services that they're looking at right now, the possible basket of services to be able to offer that to each and every Grenadian. Now, a lot of people are talking about the payments on it. If the VAT increase, and if this increase, and if that increase. You're not speaking hundreds of dollars a month here. What you may be speaking is a couple dollars.
Yeah.
Under $20.
Most might be $15, $20 for the most per person.
Because 2%. So according to what? So I don't know. Really trying to understand.
It is, but as we say, we will continue to share information, give you the information and the proposal, because remember, this thing has not been decided upon yet by cabinet or the government or anything. It's a discussion that is going on, right? A number of things, right, have been put up, and then we look again, the entire, for example, the basket of goods, right, that you will be able to be getting out of the national health insurance? What are the services that the government can provide within that structure, right? All of these things have to be discussed.
Also, you have to look at how do you deal with people with pre-existing conditions at the start of the program. So at the start of national health insurance, how do you deal with people who already have cancer? How do you deal with people who are already on dialysis? The people that may have the autoimmune diseases like lupus and so on, how do you address those? And the people with sickle cell anemia who need serious treatment every now and again, how do you address those individuals? How do you deal with those things? We have a caller.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Sheldon. Good morning, Devon.
Good morning, my friend.
Devon, I want to say that the national health insurance is the way to go. It will benefit all the Grenadians. Because see, NDC don't want nothing good happen to the Grenadian people. Because when the NDC was in government, the health system was so poor, so bad. Right? But under this government, there is development. I could see the health system is much better. And any sector, there is room for improvement. And the government is seeking to bring health insurance to all Grenadians. Yes, everything costs money. And what Mr. Steele said, $181 million to maintain that, the money has to come somewhere. It has to come somewhere. Because if you don't have that, you may, something happens, about a whole $2,000, $5,000, but the health insurance, you're spending less. You spend less. So I want to say this is the way to go, and I will support the government for doing that. So the government continue doing what is right and what is good for the Grenadian people, because you care about the people, you love the people, but NDC don't care. And they want to see nothing good happen to the Grenadian people. So this is a government that care, NMP, so the government right now continue to do what is good and what is right for the Grenadian people, because you love the Grenadian people and you want to see them have better health care. Look at with Mr. Forrester, when you're building going by the food report, what did they do? They closed Mr. Forrester place. Look at Guam in St. John, the medical place they have to build in St. John, because they punish people of St. John because of Mr. Church. So you see, they should be the last to talk about health care, right? Because they don't care, they don't love nobody. So this government, the government of care. So I want to say the government on the right track in health care. And as Mr. Steele said, suggestion. Everything go to people to get suggestion and we take the best solution that which will bring benefit to the Grenadian people. So, Sheldon Devon, you all have a wonderful day. God bless you all.
All right, my brother. And I hope you're going okay, huh?
Yeah, okay, nice. Okay.
All right, nice. Yes, indeed. And the thing is this, and the caller made a very valid point there. And Prime Minister made it in his presentation on Sunday as well. Sometimes we have to remember where we came from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Now, note what we're saying here. This is the new National Party. We are open to listening to everybody. Everybody. But people need to remember where we came from. So we're not closing our ears and say that, we're not listening to the NDC and we don't want to hear anything from the NDC.
They're Grenadians too, you know.
And they have to use the same hospital facilities.
They have to be covered too.
They have to be covered under it, yeah. They're using the same facilities. It's not because there's NDC all of a sudden. But we have to remember we come from the political organizations that these persons, in fact, I don't know why they just don't change the name soon, because the way they're trying to distance themselves from that organization and the people in it between 2008 and 2013, the way, what are we? They're trying to distance themselves from the people in that period is amazing.
Shameful.
Yeah? Because during that period, in fact, the best way to look at it is this. The people who were in charge of health care under the NDC at that point in time, both of them will say nothing in defense of the NDC. Both of them will say absolutely nothing in defense of the National Democratic Congress because of how much of a failure the National Democratic Congress government of 2008 to 2013 was, especially in the area of healthcare. Yeah? You had the first minister who was undermined by the second minister. So you had Carl Hood was the original minister. Then they undermine him until
Minister B undermine Minister A.
Yeah, undermine him until Honorable Carl Hood ended up as the what you ended up with Foreign Affairs, was it?
Foreign Affairs. At one point in time, he was Foreign Affairs, but he was something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you had Ann Peters.
Ann Peters.
Come in
Senator Ann Peters.
As the Minister of Health. And what took place after? No medication, no this,
you had
no that.
You had strongman reason. Patients going up the step and so.
And some folks tried to absolve her by saying that she was asking and I wasn't giving her. Michael Church, resign.
Yeah, exactly.
Carl Hood, resign. Peter David, resign. Glennis Roberts, resign. She could have resigned. She did not. So she holds full culpability for what took place.
Oh yeah, she was supporting
or did not take place in healthcare at that point in time. Why do you think she ain't saying nothing right now? Yeah. At least she's decent enough to understand. Listen, me ain't talking on that one now.
I'm taking no part. Yeah. And you know what is significant? What is going on with health? We know we have a number of challenges and has had a number of challenges in health. But over the last couple of years, 5 years, 6 years, we have seen steady rise in the development of healthcare in our country, right? We have seen the new facility right there by the General Hospital is being prepared that will provide a number of services that we're talking about in that basket, right, that it will provide. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Mr.
Morning, Cammy. Morning, Cammy.
Mr. Sheldon Scott.
Morning.
I've been calling all your radio station for days and nobody answering.
Nah, I know that.
I tell you, get through this morning. Good morning, how you doing?
We good?
We good.
Eh?
No, we said we good. Something is up with your phone, though.
Alright.
Kind of funny, but go ahead.
With your phone, man?
Okay. No, we hearing you funny.
Yeah, we hearing.
The problem is I hearing you far. That's why I'm telling you something wrong. But go ahead. Go ahead.
You know?
Yeah, go ahead.
Patricia, good morning, and good morning to Mr. Watt. And good morning to Mr. Deputy and all the Grenadians in America, England, Canada, and Carriacou. Good morning. Sheldon, you might be like what I have to say this morning, you know. But I have to say because it's a factor. This morning, we did a night. Beautiful. I want to say something, And I want to explain, try and be good to people on the way. You really have a to say something. You have to be nice to you on the way down. My daughter, Andrea Scott, been working with the agency, I think it's been safe. She's around 8 years. Right? 8 years. And there is some NNC, I'm going to stress on this, some NNC supporters from River Road that make a lot of mischief. Make a lot of mischief to the man in charge. He could write early reports. God will write better reports. And they make her go. Okay, when you make her go, fine. I would like them to stop harassing her. Stop harassing her. And these are NNC supporters, so they sit together with them in the road. And the conscience with them ready to get up and go. So they must not rejoice and comment her. She leaves, they make her go, she lose the work already. So they have the work. Stop harassing her. And the Prime Minister stop about some of the greedy people from there. And these are supporters and women. And the girl has children to take care of. She actually got mortgage to pay to them because she just be at the salon. Greed, envy, covetousness. I would like them to stop. I will not be like the man on the radio to remember NNC, but I want people to NNC supporters that did that to her. I don't want to remember their name. I'm staying there. I am going to stay right there. I will not be like Mr. Forrester there. And they're giving the Prime Minister a bad name. The Prime Minister don't give a bad name. But we don't still vote for the Andrea. All the mistakes we make it. I encourage you not to hold on. go vote for NNP. So I hope you get the message this morning, who's listening, who here, tell the others. And when you stop it, it's like today's show, you don't know who will be tomorrow. Stop it. Stop this wickedness and greed and envy and covetousness and making mischief. She's a young man. She takes her own to be a little house or this is a glass for her. And all you must stop it. Some of you are NNP. Stop it. Stop it. 8 years she gave them service. 8 years. And now they're saying she doesn't go to work. 8 years she gave them. And all you meet them and all you make mischief. Because of her little house. Leave her alone. I remember my victimization, you know, and I forgive them. Leave her alone, please. Have a good day, Mr. Scott, and Mr. Romain, and the rest of the ladies that have a good day. Bye-bye.
All right, my dear.
All right, my dear. Have a wonderful day. And Camille, you know, you have something bothering you that is thing. This is hard talk, right? You know what you can say. That is why you have the privilege to say it, right? Persons know. We speak the truth, right? And we let people know what is going on and everything like that. So, hey, it's so important. But, you know, Sheldon, I mean, the national health insurance, but this thing is so important, for us as a people, right? To sit down, concentrate, build, come up with suggestions and make this thing, right, a success. It will benefit generations to come. Make no mistake about that. You know?
Yes, indeed. And folks, remember the phone number, 440-7377. That's
And
440-7377.
And 347-329-3101.
Yeah, just in case you want to lend your voice to the discussion. Now, the thing is this, and Camille, I understand your situation, and so I don't have details on it. I might have to pass by here and hear more. But I heard the situation. I can't really comment on it. When it comes to the national health insurance, I think it is important for each and every Grenadian to have their say in relation to it. And this is the approach that the government has been using, and this is the approach that the National Health Insurance Secretariat have been using in relation to this issue. Let's take this call and then we'll come back.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, guys. How are you doing today?
Yes, good morning, my friend.
Yes, just a short suggestion on the NHI. If perchance it comes down to a little salary deduction of $1 or $2 as Sheldon was speaking about, then I believe our employers, if possible, can match that. So if we pay $2, then the employer will match that by paying their $2, and thereby it's like a double contribution coming from each company then. So if you have 100 employees, so you will have the employer will pay the $200, and the pool of money from the employees will be $200, right? Mm-hmm. Now, we should, if it is not happening already, then I think we might be heading towards a National Health Insurance Act, right? But if we have one already, then it should be updated for like the setting up of an Office of Health Standards Compliance, and their aim would be to make sure you receive good health care under that health insurance program. And also they would report to the Minister of Health, and they will guide and inspect facilities to make sure that those facilities remain compliant, and they might issue certificates to, like, maybe, let's say every year, they would inspect the facilities where we receive our health care, and if those facilities do not pass, then they would not be issued a certificate. So while we have our health insurance card, then we would not go to the facilities that do not pass the health compliance test. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my friend.
Yes, indeed. So suggestions there. I know what takes place now is that you have the discussions. Yeah. After you have the discussions and you finalize, this is the best option, this is the way that we're going to go, then the legal drafters come in.
Yeah.
They look at existing legislation, what exists in relation to health and national health insurance and national insurance. They look at all these things.
Social security.
Then they draft a law in relation to it, because it has to be placed into law. You can't just tell people you have to pay that money just like that. It has to be drafted into law, if that is the direction that you're going to go with it. It cannot be a situation, and some of the people out there are just being intellectually dishonest and downright dotish. And I know who I'm speaking of. I'm speaking of some of the people out there who are just cussing and saying that can't work and it can't happen and so on, and not offering a solution.
No solutions.
They're intellectually dishonest because they want to give you the impression that it's something that government could find $81 million a year to pay for national health insurance. Just put that aside and pay that a year on national health insurance. Then you know what you have to do. You have to take that out of some other area.
For lots of other areas.
So it's either you cut it out from education and you just spend $9.5 million on scholarships for some young people. You might have to say cut it from that. Infrastructure, you might have to cut it from that. You say, well, okay, if we was going and do 90 miles of road this year, we had to start doing it at
20?
Yeah, start doing 20 instead. Or you cut it out from the budget that you have for agriculture, for the assistance of farmers, for plowing their lands and to provide different things to them and so on. You may have to cut it out of there. You might have to cut it out of any other area. You may have to decide that you're going to chop it out from there to come up with and then after you complete it still would not be sustainable. Because remember, this thing is going to be based a lot on what the international price of pharmaceuticals and so on are.
Exactly. That is a sticking point there.
It's going to be based on that. Yeah. And if the price of pharmaceuticals and so on go up internationally, it's going to affect the price of healthcare here in Grenada and in the region. All over, it's going to affect it. So there are external factors that can affect the entire system itself. It's similar to the NIS too. There are international factors that can affect the NIS. Yeah.
And that is why, and we will continue to make that effort to let you know, say, look, come out, make your suggestions. There might be suggestions out there that none of us have, not even the government, right, has been thinking of, right? Your parliamentary representative, your prime minister may not be thinking of, and it may work. We need to explore all the possibilities. We want to make sure that when the national health insurance take effect, it must be operational, it must be the best, it must provide the best basket of services for all Grenadians. It has to be, right? So let us do it good. Let us have the participation of the people of this country, right? And that is where we are heading. Discussions, right, with our people. Come up with ideas, right? And let us know, let the government, let your parliamentary representative know what you think about national health insurance. It's your money that will be paying into it. You that will be affected, you that will be getting the services. And so your input is so important, right? Don't shy away from it. It's our responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. And folks, 4407377, just an aside, we'll get back to national health insurance shortly. But the issue that I called on Shaggy about this morning, and he had a call by Shaggy, he had a call by the number one.
Of course.
Yo, what's up with that? He had a call on Shaggy. Shaggy's the number one, man. He had a big up, he had a big up. Who vex? Number one.
Hey, who can stand it? I mean, they just have to dribble.
You had to wear it.
Yeah,
anyhow. So the issue I called about this morning is very important. Many persons, and I don't know how many times we can say this here, I'm beginning to not feel sorry for persons who are being caught by it, because I think that they should have enough sense, and it has been said enough that by now they ought to know better.
Too much information has been shared about that.
We've been saying this for years on this program. I've been putting it out via social media. I've even done news interviews with MTV News, with GBN News, and with CC6. That's to tell you how long I've been speaking about this particular issue of fake Facebook profiles that are engaging people and causing them to spend money. I personally have gone on GBN News and spoken about it. I've gone on MTV News, and when there was CC6 News and spoken about it. So for individuals to still be getting caught, to be spending as much as $2,000 US, sending it to these people who conning you, and these people come from basically Nigeria and Ghana. That's the main countries. There was an operation out of Jamaica. I don't know if it continues, but I know because sometimes they message me. And when they message me, and I start to interfere with them just for spite.
They cutting up themselves.
And they respond. And you can tell which country they're from.
Yeah.
Because you could see the language, you could see the different dialects.
And they're annoyed because you're on top of your game.
So sometimes I just waste the time, guys, wasting their time Means that they're not humbugging someone else.
Yeah.
But too many of you interested in this get-rich-quick schemes. Now somebody message you, and the person, regardless if you think it's the Prime Minister, which it's not, or you think it's Honorable Delma Thomas, which it's not, or you think it's Honorable Yolande Bain Hosford or some other minister, which it's not,
yeah.
You are going to take your hard-earned, because they're going to say, they message you, they create this fake profile, and now they're doing it that if you go on Facebook, you're not seeing it, but if you go on Messenger, you're seeing the profile, you're seeing the messages from them. They're messaging you. They're telling you about a grant program. You didn't apply. Don't you find it strange that a government minister contacting you online to tell you about a grant program? You to everybody. Yeah. One approached me just 2 days ago. If I heard about this new thing program, whatever it is, and that they could help me to get $30,000, I say, forget that 20 million.
So you don't need more.
They say, well, you have 20 million. I say, yeah, why would I want your little $30,000? I could be lending you money.
Exactly.
Then they started to say, well, lend me some now, lend me some. Send some money for me. You understand? Because only last week, an individual found themselves at Western Union attempting to send 500 US to somebody that approached them, getting them to believe that they were Honorable Yolande Bain Hosford. They know is a nice lady, so they like to use her name. The individual went to Western Union attempting to send 500 US, and that was the first payment they had to make. They were supposed to come back and send 1,000 US after that. So the first 500 US, they had it in hand and were at Western Union attempting to send it. And I always have to commend the staff at Western Union and at MoneyGram.
Yeah. Very efficient.
These young ladies, and I don't know if they are young men, but they are on their game because they stopped the individual and they said, listen,
question them. Yeah.
You really know this person you're sending this thing to? This no song right. No. Don't send that money. You understand? In some instances, people still trying to send the money, you know. A little fast, a little want me to get my blessing.
Mind my
I have a whole 30-something thousand US there just to send a 500 US, a little want me to do it. Listen, don't mind my business, send it. You understand? And this person was about to send 500 US to these scamsters, and then after that, they were supposed to send 1,000 US. So they had the first payment, which was the 500 US, and they were about to send it, and then to send a further 1,000 US to these individuals. Now, these individuals will continue to do this until Facebook itself. There's nothing we in Grenada can do except know that anytime you see these things as a scam, no government program is on any Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. No government minister is there. None. No government minister or government official is there telling you about any grant program. There is none. No grant program, no welfare program, no any type of program. No government minister will ever contact you on Facebook or Instagram. Just note that. And tell you about any program to send any money and that you will get money, and they go put you on to this person who is in charge of the program, and then you see some funny name and they say send the money to this person for you to receive your money. Do not be fooled.
But how?
One young lady, listen, and the thing is hurtful. One young lady went and she borrowed money from friends. She borrowed money from different people. She has a child to see about. She borrowed money from these people until she caught herself send over 800 US. Over 800 US she sent to these people. She got caught. She sent the first set, then they take a second set, then they tell her there's a processing fee. She sent a next set, and she was borrowing money from people until she sent 800 US to these people before she found something was going wrong. Please, people, and don't keep the information for yourself. Spread it to other people. Spread it to other people. Tell people what is going on. Don't keep the information for yourself.
Why would you want to send $500 or $1,000 to get $100,000? No. I mean, think about it. Why you don't? You know what I did one time? I just started telling myself, look, you have $100,000 to give to me, and I have to send you 1,000. Just deduct the $1,000 from what you have to send, and send the rest for me. And I hear from them again. They do not answer again. Take it out and send the rest for me. If it's mine, and send it. So, I mean, we just want to ensure, just warning you, be careful of these con artists. They have them in Grenada too, you know, on the radio station, all kind of thing. You have to be careful. After who you give your money and for what purpose your money is used for.
I just thought that I should address it again, seeing that there was a recent situation with it again. And had it not been for the very sharp staff at Western Union and at MoneyGram, that individual, they wouldn't have just lost the 1,500 and they'll lose a lot more. And remember, these people will not stop. Because if they could create that profile and message as much Grenadians as possible, even if they get 10 a month to send 500 US to them, they've made 5,000 US for the month. Yep. If they just get 10, even if they get less than 10, even if they get 2,500 US.
That's too much.
Yeah? And then don't think Grenada is the only country they're doing that. They're doing that in all the other countries as well. So when they get a 5,000 from Grenada and they get a 5,000 from St. Kitts, and they go up to St. Lucia, they get a 5,000. They go to Jamaica, they get a 5,000 there. That's how some of these people making their living, you know. They sit in front of a computer, research a country, find out who are the parliamentarians in that country or the people are well known. They check the profile, they see this person have X amount of friends and so. This is a popular person. And they create a profile, they copy the pictures and create a profile. They do not hack the person's profile. They create a profile that mirrors that person's profile, and they do this. So I'm saying, be careful.
But Sheldon, I mean, it's so bold-facing Grenada. I mean, that's why so many persons are targeting Grenada. When you have persons all on stations and so,
leave that
you know, and that kind of thing, it's just, you know, it's just giving that kind of thing. So we just have to be careful as to what you do, how you spend your money, and everything like that. Be very mindful, right, of that.
Those of you, just remember, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, do not send your money for these people. All right? Good? We done with that? Nice. Let's go back to the phone lines now.
Good morning and welcome.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, and to the listening public. I just wanted to mention something about the NHI.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, they've been having public forum or public education on the issue, isn't it?
Well, interactive sessions. It's not just education. It's interactive sessions.
Yeah. The first place was with Koshu or somewhere?
I don't have that information in front of me right now, but
what I'm calling to say, I'm glad you say, what I'm calling to say, I think that they should come on your program, come on radio, television, and inform people more about the NHI. This is what we need. We need to get more information. Because if people understand, if they understand the process, the procedure, the plan for the health, I think they would cooperate more and understand what is the benefit. But people are not updated on information. I think they're going around the country. They go Carriacou, I think, after the first place they was here, then they think they go in Carriacou. But we need more public knowledge, more public education. And on program like yours, you should have the person responsible for that.
We will be having
information.
Them. No, we will be having them. We've already made contact. They will be here. We haven't settled on the day yet, but they will be here and we'll announce that they are coming so that people can have their questions and their queries and so on.
Yeah, and it should be a continuous process, you know?
Yeah, they'll be here.
That's what I wanted to say. Public knowledge.
No problem. All right, thanks. Yeah, we've already contacted them, so they'll be here to speak a little more on it, because there may be questions, and there are questions that we can answer. We cannot answer that. We can tell you what are the options that are being proposed. So the options that are being proposed are A, B, C, D, E, F. You may have G, you may have H, you may have I, all the way down to Z. And it's important, because you never could tell. The more options that you have to choose from is the higher possibility that you can get one that could be the best fit there. If you only had to select between 2 or 3, then you may not get one that is the best fit. But if you have 20 to select from, you can get one that might be the best fit for what you're trying to do.
Least expensive, but covers, more and everything like that. So
because I also think that there has to be a part of this, similar to the NIS, Devon, where the monies are put into something that creates money. Because if it's just that you're going to find $181 million and just spend that, that's the end of it, It
has to be a fund that has to continue.
Replenishes.
Replenish itself,
And outside of some form of money coming in on a monthly basis, it has to have some form of investment.
It has to be
with it. That creates money, that brings in a certain amount of money over a period of time.
Even if you have to use it within the same, that money within the same health sector to provide other services that the basket may not be providing, and person has to pay, a contribution for it. That again will, will help. But hey, it has to be something that put into place, that money must not just be put there and rest there, right? It must able to replenish itself, as you said, and continue, because remember, it's a generation, right, of persons, not just me and you, but our grand and our great grands to come, that we trying to ensure that healthcare is provided for.
Plus the people with the pre-existing conditions now that we mentioned. Plus you already have people that right now need it, huh?
They need it bad.
Right now they need it.
Yeah. So those who have been spending thousands of dollars for the last couple of years, and they need that relief, and so that will help. I mean,
Devon, I forgot to say, and I'm sure nobody, it wouldn't affect those because they probably went already, that the Honorable Gregory Bowen is not in today. He's not in today. He'll be in next week, but he's not in today. So I'd neglected to say that. But so just in case you was about to go, he's not in today. Yeah, but he will be there next week. He's I'll travel on state business, so he'll be back next week.
And watch, I am sure that every single Grenadian, those listening to us who are not listening, but the message will reach to you, I am sure that every one of us want to ensure that we being covered health-wise. Every one of us. Whether you're employed, whether you're unemployed, but you're contributing towards the development of our country, you are a citizen. We all want to be covered. We all want to make sure that yourself and family, right, have the best medical care that is being provided. All right? So let us not stick and play with that. Let us contribute. Let us participate in the discussions. And so let us make this thing a success.
Yes, indeed. 440-7377
and 347-329-3101.
Yes, so give us a call. You may have an idea that can work. You see, the thing is, we have an issue. We have an issue. We want to make sure that each and every Grenadian is covered by proper health care. At least the very basic basket of services can be offered to each and every Grenadian. Yeah? And that specialist services in some areas that are popping up in Grenada, and you're having some problems, some people can't access those services, that we find a methodology for these people to be able to access those services. Are we simply going to say everything that proposed can't work, forget that? Or are we going to say, okay, that's proposed, maybe they might work, maybe they can't work, but we think that this can work? That's having a proper intellectual discussion. But scaremongering and fearmongering isn't going to help anything. It is not going to help anything. Yeah? It's not going to help. Because even, I told the IMF was speaking, they said we had to look at that issue when it looks at the pension reform and all these sort of things. Government cannot simply take $181 million and do a national health insurance, because there's not money coming back. Or that's once that money goes there, that's the end of that money. It's spent. That's gone. It's not going to generate money back into the economy. Yeah? Well, at least not significant amounts of money back into the economy. It's money that's spent, that's gone. I don't want to say dead money because it's money to keep people alive. So, but that money is gone. Yeah. And the IMF report is saying that the government has to be careful. Pretty soon, the government of Grenada will reach that 55% GDP debt to GDP ratio. Government will fall below the 55%. And the fiscal responsibility legislation will allow government to spend more than they are spending right now. It will relax their hand a bit so that they can spend more. But the IMF is saying, yes, you're going good. You're going to reach there just now. And the relaxation is going to take place. You're going to be allowed to spend more. But when you're spending that more, be careful where you're spending it and how you're spending it. Because if you spend it and you put it into areas, non-productive areas, such as just paying salaries or paying benefits or even the social welfare programs that are not going to generate money back into the economy, then you could find yourself going back up over 55% debt to GDP ratio and you can't spend that kind of money again. And you'll find yourself as a government in trouble. Your country economy, you're going to find it in trouble.
We don't want to repeat 2008, 2013.
Yeah.
Never again.
But if on a little bit of politics, what are we going to tell it out?
Boy,
A little what I would not say?
they say how the boy don't have no respect.
I don't take him part in that. You see that part?
And
I
they
know
say,
about that.
They say he like to run him mouth. I don't know.
I ain't talking about that. What I saying is, I know about that. You know about that. I don't know about that. What taking place with he and NDC? I see throwing what for them?
Well, they can't put a zip.
Who only think about themselves and they don't care about the party.
Exactly.
All kind of
You know, the little things they can't take care of, but they want to worry about big things. Take care of what's going on in your house and stop peeping in somebody else's house. You know, and so mind your business. Do what is necessary for you.
Well, a lot of them were surprised. They were surprised to see Tobias Clement open the ceremony on Sunday.
Of course, he's a parliamentary representative.
I know what they thought, but they were very surprised to see Honorable Tobias Clement come and welcome everybody to his constituency.
What else do they expect? Yeah. He is the MP, plus he's an executive member. He's everything. I mean, come on.
Yeah. All of a sudden, let's stop talking about Toby.
Ooh, they stop talking about Toby. Toby.
All of a sudden, let's stop talking. No, I mean, I have to ask the question, I have to ask the question, yeah? That's just a little aside. All right, folks, we have roughly about 10 minutes remaining. 10 minutes remaining on Hard Talk today. And morning to you, Minister. Seeing you there. Morning, Minister Lewis. I'm seeing you on there this morning. And all of you on the live,
Yeah, and
good morning to you.
Also, too, good morning to the members of the Royal Grenada Police Force and all the members of the security services around the country, Grenada, Carriacou, and PD Martinique. Ensuring that you have a wonderful day.
You do, you don't do, you can't please some people. The government of Grenada purchased some bikes for the traffic police and so on.
Much needed for motorcycles.
Now, here's what, brother. You've had a marked increase. You have to admit it. There's a marked increase in the number of traffic accidents taking place in Grenada. There is. That goes without question. There's a marked increase. Yeah? There are various things that cause that. For me, I believe one of them at night are these people that are driving with the extremely bright lights. They're blinding people coming in the other direction and they have no consideration and no care for other people. And I think that the Royal Grenada Police Force needs to crack down on it. Don't give me no stupid excuse as you buy the vehicle with that light, because if the light blow, you will be able to change it. So as such, I believe that they need to, in many of these instances, now I realize some of these buses have ones that they're driving with that dazzling now. So the headlight dazzling, there's a light to the side of the headlight that dazzling, and the headlight in some instances.
The brakes light and all
dazzling. The brakes light dazzling. So you're driving in the night, they're on high beam with these high definition lights or high intensity lights, and then they decide, with it shining directly into your eye, that they're going to dazzle it to further blind you. Then come on, especially if you're not a person who accustomed to the area that you're driving in, or according to the road conditions at the point in time, rain falling, whatever it is, according to the road conditions, you can find yourself in an accident when you're blinded by some of these individuals. So I'm saying to the Royal Grenada Police Force, do what you have to do.
Enhance.
Don't let nobody give you this kind of excuse about the vehicle come with that light. Your vehicle come with that light, the light could come out of the vehicle. Because I don't think, does make you put on the lights on the port when you bring a vehicle, does make you put on the lights there? Right, so I mean, these lights can be swapped for lights that are of less intensity.
Of course.
When you're in the big highway in the United States or in Japan or UK and so on, and you're on this big highway and you need these bright lights, okay. Here in Grenada, with the smaller roads, in a smaller community, these bright lights are blinding people, and any of the buses, I believe, should be charged that have it. I have friends who bus drivers. I have no apology. Whoever have it, it has to come out. These dazzling lights that are being used, because they're blinding other road users in the night. Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I love with the increase of the motorbikes, the purchasing of the motorbikes for the Royal Grenada Police Force, that will enhance, you say, the traffic department, right? it will complement, right, the newly installed traffic wardens that we have, and so, right, within the St. George's and the Grenville Town, St. Patrick's, and so, more efficient, management of the traffic, and that is what is needed. And so hey, to the members of the Royal Grenada Police Force, continue to do the excellent work that you have been doing, and the Grenadian people behind you.
Our good friend is saying here he thinks that persons must be made to do a practical for their driver's license at night. Not only during the daytime, so you should do 2 practicals, one in the day, one in the night.
Yeah.
Maybe, because a lot of these accidents, some of the accidents are due to people who just want to drive with a lot of speed. You want to speed. Everywhere you're going, you want to go over 60 miles an hour. Everywhere you're going, 60 miles an hour. Yeah, and the vehicle itself may not be in the condition to go that fast, because you realize when some of these things hit, the way they mash up, they was going real fast. Yeah, so that's another thing. So the government has decided that, yes, we have the traffic wardens, and I saw them busy in the south of the island this morning. And you also have, along with the traffic wardens, you also have these bikes that are now put into the system here that will be used now to assist the traffic police to get to different locations easier, more fluid, to be able to use to do their job. And I think it's important. But a lot of people now, they start to, because, government buy bike, what do you buy bike for? Everything you do, you buy ambulance, what you buy ambulance for? You buy bike, what you buy bike for? You bring traffic wardens, what you bring traffic wardens for? Okay, so instead of traffic wardens, bike and ambulance, what should government do? Leave. That's what the government must do, leave. Come out of office. Come on. Let's be reasonable and sensible here. Have a serious discussion. He said also bus drivers at dusk always have on these high intensity lights, which only serves to blind the oncoming driver. And that's the point I'm making. These lights are not for Grenada. These lights are for places like the United States, and so the broad streets and the long highways, and you're driving going down and you want to see how far in front and you have on your lights. But for the narrow streets here, you want to have on a light that blinding the vehicle, the oncoming vehicle, the next 3 and 4 oncoming vehicles sometime, and still pressing a button and flash it.
And I want to make an appeal to the Royal Grenada Police Force, especially the traffic department. Right, just a suggestion, and so a lot of more inspections and road stop should take place within the wee hours of the morning, 12, 1, 2 o'clock. I say that, right, because of the high amount of accidents that we have, and a lot of them is due to drinking of alcohol, driving and drinking. And you know what that caused, right? I would really like to see the police doing much more in traffic when it comes to alcohol consumption while you're driving. The bus drivers, you see them every day, every single day, driving 18 and 16 persons in their vehicle with speed, and they have a beer drinking on the side or Guinness in their hand. That is unacceptable. Right, and there are a number of lawmen outside there who sees that, and they do nothing. We need, and I'm begging, we need to do something about that. It is dangerous, right? Our families driving this public transport, and so when you see them with and not only just that, in the alcohol, no, they have a cell phone in one hand, they drive in with another hand, and they still have alcohol in their hand, drinking and consuming. That is unacceptable.
Hand on a clock.
You understand, like octopus.
I'm just saying that it's a good move by government. I also know, and I've heard from the Minister of Works, that government is in the process of seeking a new traffic light system. The existing traffic lights, the ones that are there that are non-functioning now, are because the company that produced them is out of business. So you can't get the replacement parts as before. Before the company was still there, you could get replacement parts. The company is now defunct. That company is no longer in business, and you cannot get the replacement parts. Outside of that, those lights have been around since the 1990s or somewhere there, late 1990s. So those lights are basically out of date right now. You have to be updated anyway, right? So government is in the process of seeking new traffic lights. But while it's doing that, it's also looking at if you need to leave them where they are, if you need to put in new ones. So you can't just go and say, okay, we're going and buy a next set of, these people selling traffic light, okay, buy from them. And you just come and put in a set of traffic lights in the same locations. You have it because the volume of traffic has increased.
In different areas.
Remember, initially there was a traffic light in the Belmont Top Road area by where Francis Pet Supply used to be. There's a traffic light, and there was a reason that there was a traffic light at the Springs Belmont Junction there in Paddock. There was a reason it was there, because the volume of traffic used to be Tantine Top Road through Belmont and onto Granans. Everything used to go through there. At that time, when the Corani James Boulevard, Lagoon Road, was rebuilt and the Port Highway was rebuilt, the traffic stopped going through the top road and start passing through the bottom road. So that is why the traffic lights up there ended up becoming obsolete, because it didn't have the volume of traffic passing through there again. The volume of traffic was now on the bottom road. Yeah? So you're saying that's why the government is doing an assessment at the same time. So you may see people going around and doing little assessments and so. Or you may see somebody with a notebook sit down at a point and they check in. And what they're doing is checking the volume of traffic at different hours in different locations to see, well, this area does not have a traffic light now and it may need one. Or this one has one now and maybe it doesn't need one, or it needs a different type. That's what is taking place. Because some people have been asking what's going on with the traffic lights. We have a caller.
Good morning and welcome. Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
How are you, sir?
Hey, quite fine.
Yeah, this accident that was happening there. Is them young boys and they must smoke the marijuana and they drink a beer and rum after it. That's why they meeting in accident, you know?
I think there are multiple reasons. So.
That's why they meeting in the accident?
Multiple reasons.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, I just think that there are multiple reasons why this is not one reason. There are multiple reasons.
Much more reasons.
The lights to me are one of the major ones. And the thing is, the vehicle has shined the light on you, he go anyway. You know? So he don't see when you slam into the wall at the side, there he go anyway. So he don't even know he caused an accident with you. He go anyway. So we have to look at it. We definitely have to look at it. That's just one.
There are a number of things that drivers do on the road that create, accidents.
Speeding,
and so.
drinking, using your mobile phone while they're driving, not paying due care and attention, a faulty vehicle itself. All of these things cause accidents. All of these things cause accidents. But folks, that's all the time we have for Hard Talk today. But I feel we're going to leave by playing the audio from Honorable Nicholas Steele again. Yeah, we're going to leave. I think we can take one more call before we go. Let me try one more call before we go.
Good morning and welcome.
1 second. Too many vehicles on the road that's supposed to go through police inspection that did not go through police inspection but end up with proper documentation. Listen to this. Too many vehicles on the road that's supposed to go through police inspection that did not go through police inspection but end up with the proper documentation. How this is happening. All of that contributes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my friend. We end on that note.
I don't find out if that wants you. I'll find out if that wants you. But folks, we're going to end. I'm letting you hear again from the Honorable Nicholas Steele as he made his presentation this Sunday at the NNP General Council. So in whatever you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you.
And not about you.
Love each and every one of you. We are out of here.
What we can offer or should offer is dependent on what we are prepared to pay and where we get the funding from. So there are various options that have been presented. And I want to be clear, these are options for consideration. Any of these options that I list here is not a decision that is to be implemented, but it is for discussion for us to decide as a party, as a people, as a nation, for your government to decide which is the most acceptable option or group of options. So first and foremost is that there is a recommendation within the region that every government should be giving 10% of its national budget to healthcare. Your government right now gives 7.5, the most that any government in the past has given. So we are increasing that amount. That 7.5, if it were to change to 10%, would result instead of to 84 million into healthcare. That is going to bridge some of the gap. The total cost of all of the things I mentioned before is 181 million a year. So 84 million can come from government increasing its budget. But remember, it's a decision and a discussion. When we increase the budget into healthcare, it comes from somewhere else. It may come from education, it may come from works, it will come from somewhere else. So that's a discussion that we have to have. Other option is an increase in value-added tax. Right now we pay 15%. The suggestion or contemplation is that value-added tax can increase from 15 to 17%, and that 2% goes straight to healthcare. And you know, that is part of your healthcare. So the more you spend, those who spend more are contributing more. Third option is a payroll tax, to put a percentage, an additional percentage, like you pay NIS now, to put an additional percentage that's for NHI. Those who are working, the more money your salary is, the more that 6% contribution is. Again, an option. There are other combinations that we are looking at that will move forward. One is reinsurance, taking some of the money and passing it on to a larger insurance company, international insurance company, so that they will deal with more of the costs. And we pay a smaller amount upfront and they cover more of the costs at the end. Another option is to implement tax on visitors, for instance. Many countries in the region do have that, where they may charge $10 or $20 or $50 for every tourist that comes in. And that's an insurance tax, and that goes straight to health insurance. But it does mean on the flip side that any one of those individuals gets sick, while they're in Grenada, you have to give them the full coverage, just like any one of us. We also are looking at options with respect to CBI, those individuals who have invested in CBI, and there are other options with respect to partnering with other entities. For instance, some of us have been fortunate when we fall upon certain illnesses to have been treated in Cuba for certain treatment that cannot be offered here in Grenada. So an option is to negotiate with governments like Cuba, like Colombia, and others in the region to pay up front for more of our citizens to go. So pay rather than just be taking what they give to us as free. So those are the combinations that we have to look at.
It's coming, the new family of EC polymer notes.
What is different about these notes?
The feel.
Polymer notes are made from a thin plastic film, which makes the notes feel smoother than the paper notes.
The orientation.
The notes have a portrait orientation. You will read the notes from top to bottom instead of left to right as you do with the paper notes.
Unique tactile feature.
The front of each note has raised bumps at the top left-hand corner. These bumps form shapes that are familiar to you.
Holographic foil strip.
This feature is on the $20, $50, and $100. When you tilt the notes, the images and colors in this section will change.
New image on the $50.
The back of the $50 bears the image of former governor of the ECCB, the late Honorable Sir K. Dwight Venner.
New signature.
All the notes bear the signature of the current governor, Timothy N.J. Antoine.
EC polymer notes. Cleaner, safer, stronger.
A pleasant good afternoon to, of course, my permanent secretary in the Ministry of Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs, to you, the members of the media, those of you listening on Sister Isles Radio and on WeiVybz 101.3, and of course on social media. The pleasure is mine to take this awesome opportunity to inform and to advise the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique of recent developments and updates happening within the Ministry of Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs and local government, and within the constituency of Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Over the past few months, we saw the successful execution of various national cultural festivals on our shores, most recently our Carnival and Maroon Festival. The Ministry of Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs invested over $120,000 in cash in our carnival this year, an increase of $20,000, and $50,000 in our just concluded Maroon and String Band Music Festival. We had a record number of visitors to our shores during these periods, along with the attendant increases in economic activities taking place on our shores. I want to take this opportunity to thank the various festival committees and their members, as well as the directors of the festival's board, for the planning and execution of these festivals, and for taking pride in the quality of the production of the various activities. Special thanks must also be given to the various corporate and individual sponsors, the participants, patrons, supporters, and of course you, the general public, for your general support during these festivals. For the 10th year, the Carriacou Masters Cricket Tournament was staged on the same weekend as the Maroon Festival, making that weekend one of the most exciting weekends on the island. This year, over 12 teams participated, with many more expressing interest to visit. I gave the renewed commitment at the welcoming ceremony of the teams that government and this ministry will explore all avenues in securing an additional cricket ground in order to facilitate the extra teams willing to participate. I also advised and informed that we have begun the process of lighting the Hillsborough playing field so that night games and other activities can be facilitated as well. Mr. George Andrew and his team must be congratulated for this wonderful initiative and for continuously investing in this activity. The Carriacou Masters Tournament is now a permanent fixture on the sporting calendar for Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Up next, as we all know, is the Petite Martinique Whitsuntide Regatta Festival, which is to be staged from the 7th of June to the 10th of June. Currently, the festival's board and the committee is working closely to deliver yet another quality product that truly depicts the people of Petite Martinique. I am happy to announce now that this year, the Ministry of Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs have increased the financial support to the Petite Martinique Whitsuntide Festival Committee from $25,000 to $50,000 in cash this year. Additionally, plans are also being put in place for the staging and execution of the 2019 Regatta Festival. The ministry and the government are in full support and stands firmly with the festival's board, who is entrusted with the mandate to spearhead, plan, and execute all national and public festivals. Recently, we saw right here in Carriacou the finals of the Right Start GCA Inter-Parish Under-19 Cricket Tournament, concluded in Carriacou, in a match between our Under-19 team and Team St. David's. We are indeed, as a ministry and a government, very proud of our team from Carriacou, who gave us the opportunity to host the match here on homeland. I commend the captain, manager, coach, and players of our team for representing us in the tournament and for us, of course, reaching the finals. We are immensely proud and look forward to greater and bigger things from our team. In the same breath, I congratulate Team St. David's for winning the championship away from home. I also congratulate our athlete, Ms. Jamora Alves, who participated in the Carifta Games held in the Cayman Islands last month, and for returning home with the bronze medal in the Under-17 female shot put event. Keeping with our young people, just recently, over 15 young men from Carriacou and Petite Martinique attended and participated in the SCTW training, which is a safety training at sea in Trinidad and Tobago. And very soon, they will be presented with their certificates, evidencing successful completion of that training. Further, Over 35 Imani trainees were recently placed in various workplaces and training environments to receive necessary training and experience in various fields and disciplines. Additionally, the Imani trainees that we had continue to secure permanent placement in various workplaces and areas throughout the length and breadth of Carriacou and Petite Martinique. The Empower program is also on stream and is going pretty well. This is a program that is designed to help young males who have gotten in trouble with the law or would most likely would get in trouble with the law. Of course, to give them that opportunity to turn their lives around, to enable them to live productive and meaningful lives. Over 30 young men are engaged in this program. Things like basic mathematics and language skills are being taught to these young men along with life skills. These young men are now placed in various workplaces so that a skill can be learned. For the year thus far, over 8 young persons from Carriacou and Petite Martinique would have received full scholarships in various institutions in and out of Grenada. Further, through the Parliamentary Office, we continue to assist needy students at TAMCC, NULO, and other educational institutions. The training and development of our young people continue to be a #1 priority for us as a government. And just over in Petite Martinique, over 15 young persons, which includes both males and females, were recently trained in furniture making. We as a government and as a ministry and as your minister continue to place great emphasis and importance, of course, on our infrastructural development as well. Completed this year so far, as you may be aware, is the airport solution drain, which will take water from the airport stadium area into the sea. The Hillsborough solution drain from Morris Street connecting First Avenue onto Main Street. And to complement this work, the Hillsborough Pond was thoroughly cleaned and cleared. Further, we saw the completion of the resurfacing of the Mount Royal Main Road, which was completed and which was done with asphalt, along with the Dover Top Road. Various bridges, drains, and retaining walls were constructed throughout Carriacou and Petite Martinique thus far, with the hope to complete many more before the end of the year. Presently under construction is 1,200 feet long by 3 wide slipper drain, 1 cross culvert, 4 sidewalks, and 3 driveways in the Harveyville area, which we believe would assist in the prevention of flooding in the surrounding areas during heavy rains. Work is expected to begin as soon as next week on various pieces of roads and drain throughout Carriacou, and permit me to advise you of same. They are as follows. At Hermitage, 300 feet concrete slab road and 300 feet block wall will be constructed. At the Mount Pleasant Point Road, another 300 feet concrete slab road and box drain, including 1 cross culvert, will be constructed. In Mount Desire, 400 feet of concrete slab road and slipper drain will also be constructed. On the Harveyville Main Road, a cedar fence with Gibeon baskets will also be constructed to prevent a further sea erosion of the said road. Work is also expected to commence on the Carriacou Police Station, which is set to receive a major facelift, major renovations in the tune of over $500,000. This work will commence next week as well. And over in Petite Martinique, 100 feet of block wall and 80 feet retaining wall will be constructed in the Paradise area, along with 400 feet of concrete slab road also in that area. Further, the police station in Petite Martinique was recently relocated to the new NADMA building, and is now better positioned to serve the people of Petite Martinique. Arrangements are currently underway to establish a tourism welcome center on the island of Petite Martinique. We continue at the ministry to grade and compact many of our inner roads with gravel for easy access in many areas. This we will continue to do until a permanent solution is arrived at. In total, over $1 million will be spent on this project, and it is expected that hundreds of jobs will be created for our people as a direct result. We are quite aware that there are many other roads that need urgent attention. But the fact is that we can only do so much at one time, given our limited resources. In this regard, I crave your continued patience and understanding as we work towards improving our roads and drains and other infrastructure one day at a time. With respect to the Bogles Main Road, the Bredner Road, the Cherry Hill Road, the Bel Air Main Road, and that of roads in Bottom and Top Lauriston, I continue to push for additional support to get these started. There was, in fact, a further delay with the start of work on Bishop's College. But I believe that we are now closer than ever, closer than we ever were, to see the start of construction of same. I know that all architectural drawings and designs are now finalized and things are moving ahead. The Chinese housing project in Dumfries is on stream and is progressing with great satisfaction. The first phase is nearing completion and is expected to be delivered by the first half of next year. Many persons have already expressed keen interest in these houses, and so I am quite aware that this project would really touch the lives of many of our people. The bathroom and toilet initiative of our elderly citizens have started sometime last year is ongoing, and for the year thus far, we have constructed and outfitted over 4 bathroom facilities. This is another initiative that continues to touch the lives of our elderly people in this constituency in profound ways. I am excited to report that the government of Grenada, in partnership with the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, have agreed on the Kasi project to bridge the digital divide for our small islands, and Grenada is ready to begin the process of laying out undersea cable system, which will be laid from Conference Bay, Grenada, into Carriacou and up to the islands into St. Vincent during this said week. The current technology used for internet access in Carriacou and Petite Martinique as a result will be upgraded to high-speed broadband network, which will provide affordable connectivity to our islands. The fiber cable will increase access, and this will bring equity of access to broadband for the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique and the Grenadine Islands. Today, as you know, the access to internet and telecommunication services is not only more expensive here in Carriacou and Petite Martinique, but it is also of a lower quality to that of Grenada. This fiber cable will change this and will act as the foundational access towards digital transformation for our island. So, high-speed internet access is coming to Carriacou. By virtue of this investment, primary and secondary schools on the island, together with TAMCC, will be given high-speed internet connectivity. Teleconferencing, live streaming, online activities, and businesses can now operate from Carriacou and Petite Martinique with the same or even better bandwidth, offering as compared to any country in the world. The fiber will be installed in all government offices at the first instance, and the opportunity will be given to other entities to this high-quality broadband service from partnership agreement with Digicel. We in Carriacou have started making preparation for the fiber cable at the Lauriston Airport stretch area. A special vessel is now presently docked at the St. George's Port, which vessel will lay the marine fiber in open waters during this week. As it relates to the health sector, we continue to make incremental and proud progress. We received funding from PAU and UK Aid to undertake the Smart Hospital Healthcare Project at the Princess Royal Hospital and at the Hillsborough Health Centre. For both facilities, repairs will be made to electrical and plumbing to introduce measures that will conserve energy and water. We will also see the installation of water tanks, repairs to the roofs, building of disabled ramps, and installation of hurricane shutters, among many other things. Currently, the design and detailed scope of works have been completed. Design for both facilities were completed by a local design firm, Construction Advisory Services. Tender documents are being finalized for publication, and a team from PAU will be in Carriacou on May 21st to conduct an assessment as part of the tendering process. Work on the facilities will be done concurrently and is anticipated to commence in June, July of this year. The project is expected to cost in the tune of US $1 million. Operations at the Hillsborough Health Centre will be relocated to the nurses' hostel at Bel Air, and work will be done on the hospital in a manner that will minimize the interruption of service to patients and other persons there. As you are aware, we will be approaching the hurricane season very soon. The season is scheduled to begin on the 1st of June. And it is forecasted that we will have a slightly less active season. We are in store for a projected 14 named storms, including 7 hurricanes, of which 3 are expected to be major hurricanes. NADMA Carriacou is in preparatory mode. Community outreach programs were executed. Awareness village meetings were held and is ongoing. Various drills and exercises and training sessions were also conducted and is ongoing. These and more will continue as we brace ourselves for this season. In the area of agriculture, we continue to make great progress. This year alone, over $50,000 were already spent to repair and upgrade some of the existing farm structures at the Limley farm. The fencing of the perimeter of the farm, over 12 acres, were recently fenced, and the division is in the process of land preparation, not only on the farm, but individuals as well. The plowing of lands have begun. I am happy to report that the impounding system, which is also operated out of the farm, is in full effect and is operating smoothly. At the nursery site in Dover, we are looking to rehabilitate same to be used as a demonstration site for the schools. The area would be used for both forestry and 4-H. This nursery should be up and running during the latter quarter of the year. The nursery in Bel Air comes in for high praise and commendation for the work that is presently being done there. A vast variety of seedlings and other crops, other plants, can be found there for planting when the rain starts. Recently, Mr. Edwin Duncan and Evan Samuel of the Agriculture Division visited the Belmont Estate in Grenada, in particular the goat dairy operations there, in order to get a snapshot of the goat dairy processing something we indicated a while ago we intend to replicate on the farm in Limleh. With respect to Crown lands and the allocation thereof, we continue to work on the areas that were distributed to our people. Last month, the surveyor would have visited Carriacou, in particular the Lauriston land settlement area, and would have erected or placed various boundary marks in respect of the different lots of land that were allocated there. Also, the lands were cleared and access roads were created. As a result of this intervention, persons allotted lands in that area are now aware as to the exact location of their respective lots. As it relates to the increased payment under the seed program, I am pleased to announce today that at the end of June this year, persons eligible will receive the increase of $100 by way of public assistance, bringing it to $300 per month. This increase will only be in respect of the elderly. That is, persons over 60 years. And of course, for those who are eligible. I wish to repeat, the increase will only be in respect of the elderly, persons over 60 years, and those who are eligible. As your parliamentary representative and minister, I vow to continue to fight and to bring as much benefits as possible to all the people of our beautiful islands. My mission has been and remains to positively impact and change lives of all in whatever way possible. And despite the many attempts to distract the process and the progress by idle persons, I remain truly committed and dedicated to the cause. I wish to take this opportunity to thank all of you, all the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique, for your genuine support, your guidance and counsel, as we continue to work one day at a time in building our beautiful islands, Carriacou and Petite Martinique. I thank you. So I will entertain, of course, a few questions from members of the public, of the media.
Minister, you spoke about the Dr. Prince House project by China. I spent a while in China. I know the Chinese construct buildings and units towards their own specification, and of course, in contrast to the style of Africa. Can you assure us, first of all, how many units are there in this first phase, and the size of the units comfortably?
Sure. In the first phase, over 100 units will be constructed. The size of the units are pretty comfortable. I've had the opportunity to visit together with other persons from the Ministry of Works in Grenada, who is also spearheading and working along with the Chinese to ensure that they keep within the specifications. And so I am comfortable with the size of the units, and I know that most people would be. Just to advise further that the first phase is going pretty smoothly. We expect it to complete by the middle of next year, and by the end of this year, we'll start taking in applications for those units.
So will be, so would I be not the fast track if I have it myself, but is that the same team will remain to start phase 2, or phase 2 will
The same team will remain to start phase 2.
So possibility that phase 2 will start next?
Could be. Fingers crossed.
Next question. I spoke to one called Ravel, who is the founding managing director of FD.
Yes.
And he said that successive governments have been stalling the process in terms of getting government to ease the taxes that they have. To the extent he said that, Rajina's career, that
on the travel field from Greater Carriacou and vice versa, we were at a loss. He said the Carriacou SBGA, the bridge from Carriacou to Grenada, the every time, it's been sustained and subsidized by the wealthy people who runs up to the modern Grenada and modern parts of the town. What could be done from your angle as a minister and of course from the administration to ensure that of course we keep SBGA or keep airline running in light of the fact they are so important to us all and of course to our tourism? Anything with us?
It is interesting because it was only yesterday that I met with Mr. Gavel and the manager, Mr. Lendo, at my office at Legal Affairs, and we discussed these issues. Now, there are two things that are on the table. The request for a waiver of taxes for persons traveling between Union Island, from Grenada to Union Island, and secondly, the issue of subsidies to ensure that the 19-seater, if they decide to use it here, would be a viable options. Those options we will be discussing with the government, the entire government, and it's something that I intend to raise and to bring in cabinet for deliberations and for the way forward. But I have given the persons at SVGA my commitment to working with them to ensure that we have this viable service available for the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique. It would be a travesty of justice to have not one company fly between Carriacou and Grenada. And so as a government, we will do whatever it takes, or whatever we have to do, of course, within certain guidelines and within certain parameters, to ensure that there is connectivity, constant connectivity between Carriacou and Grenada. So it was only yesterday afternoon that we've had that discussion, and I'm yet to bring same to initiate a conversation with our Prime Minister and, of course, the rest of the Cabinet. But rest assured, it is something that is high on the agenda, and I will raise very soon. Yes. Yeah, he also indicated that to me, so I have that in the back of my mind. And, of course, we'll be working to ensure that that does not happen.
Minister, you also made reference to the hurricane season.
Yes. Yes.
And we know what can happen. Last year we saw instant flooding in one week.
Yes.
Sometime in October, it was last. And the rain that we received on that particular day was more than what the island received from January to September. In light of that, a number of farmers were affected, in terms of the soil water and so forth. The contrast to this question. So we know that, of course, the waters, in terms of flooding, can affect farmers in terms of the crops. Likewise, we know, of course, serious drought, like what we experienced a couple of years ago, can also affect the farmers. In light of that, what are the safety nets in place to cushion the fall for farmers should they be affected by either one of the two?
Okay. Very well. As you're aware, government last year and early this year have invested and continue to invest heavily in drains. Last year, various storm drains and solution drains were constructed throughout Carriacou and Petite Martinique. And we focused primarily on drains because we were aware what usually happens in the rainy season when we have, of course, heavy downpours. And so we believe that if we take care of our drains, if we divert the water in the right direction, then in the first breath, the severity of flooding will be diminished. Also, secondly, under the Ministry of Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs, and of course the Ministry of Agriculture, there are programs whereby affected farmers, of course registered farmers, can tap into for assistance once their crops, their livestock, damaged as a result of hurricanes, flood, or any form of natural disasters. Some farmers have tapped into same in the past, and so we urge all farmers to become registered and to make themselves available with the respective information as to what can be attained at that given time. Sure. Yes. Yes.
Year after year, crop farmers, and people generally who plant crops, always suffer from better animals ravaging their
Yeah.
We know we have the pollen system.
Yes, yes.
But for some reason, the teeth is not biting.
Yes.
From your position where you're in legal affairs department, is there anything that can be done to strengthen it and to better secure crop farmers?
Yes, we have already started to look into that. The impounding system has started, and as I indicated, it has been running pretty smoothly. Of course, there's always room for improvement. And as you're correct to say that it is not biting, or it probably is not biting hard enough. And so the Attorney General Chambers, we are looking at the respective legislation to see how we can tighten it, to see how we can bite a little harder to bring relief to the persons who are affected by the during the let-go season, as I call it. You know, around this, especially a season like now, dry season, where we tend to just let loose all the animals. And of course, we know what is the attendant result of that. I'm cognizant of that. And while we have legislation in place, as you know, legislation is never stagnant. The laws have to evolve, laws have to change to fit certain circumstances. And so we are looking to see how we can tighten those pieces of legislations, which we hope we'll be able to table in Parliament very soon.
You made a point about, of course, a number of roads that we
Yes.
are addressing. And of course, you mentioned the Grenada road.
Yes.
It's very important,
Very.
the central and
Yes.
southern part of the island.
Yes.
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 I just drove down there about half an hour ago.
Yes.
And the road is in a mess.
It is.
Badly deteriorated.
Yes.
In light of the fact, but I didn't really report it as a road, I reported more that corridor.
Yes.
It's so narrow. I hope that, of course, in the plans going forward, and the works going forward very soon, we're not
Yeah.
only want to just maybe taper off over the cracks, but of course, they need, of course, to widen that road. So I hope that will be taken into consideration.
I believe that will be taken into consideration. We will have the experts coming and assess it and advise us as to what we can do best with respect to saving that road. But it is a road that is high on our agenda because of its importance, significant importance, the link between Hillsborough to the hospital. Thank you.
In your bill address, you made of course, you spoke about culture.
Yes.
And what culture needs to be looked at
Yes.
in the market. We all, of course, run through our veins.
Yes.
I know you're very passionate about a cultural center for Carriacou.
Yes.
Last year, you met with the Chinese ambassador.
Yes.
Looked at the venue. Where are we as it pertains to that project?
Well, we are nowhere yet. To be honest, we are not quite there yet. As you know, these types of projects usually take a little time before it gets off the ground. And so we are still in dialogue with the sponsors, with the funders. And once that is secured, then we'll be able to move it on a little further. But it remains one of my dream projects. It remains something that I would really like to see happen here in Carriacou and Petite Martinique. And of course, I would use my energies and whatever it takes to see how far we can get with respect to that project.
I know your predecessor spoke very highly about the importance of restoring and maintaining that aesthetic, architectural piece of artwork that we have in Bel Air, known as the Great House, where we normally have the Maroon Festival. Yes. What has been done to ensure that, of course, we try to restore that facilities to its natural and pristine state?
That I to maintain that structure should be maintained at all cost. As a matter of fact, it was last month or so we had a consultant from Trinidad in the name of Dr. Poon, who would have visited Carriacou, and we looked at that and other sites in terms of preserving and ensuring that these monumental buildings does not disappear. Dr. Poon agreed to provide us with a proposal as it relates to its preservation that we are awaiting. But again, I just want to advise and inform that this is something we are looking at. And once the proposals are had, we will see how we can execute. But rest assured that the preservation of our cultural heritage our artifacts, the things that we met here, we as a government and as a ministry would do all that we can to ensure that our children and grandchildren get a taste of it as well.
Final question. Sorry taking up so much of your time.
No, that's all right.
The Dumfries landfill, you would agree that, of course, it's not working exactly for the purpose in which it was first started and, of course, constructed.
Yes.
What is the best way forward for this particular facility?
Well, the best way forward. Raul, you know, late last year, a team from Solid Waste visited Carriacou. Myself and the permanent secretary was also present. And we together came up with a working plan. That plan was since approved by Cabinet, and funding was allocated to execute that plan and proposal. As of today's date, I can say that work has started on the Dumfries landfill in the sense that the wider perimeter of the landfill was cleared. We are now in the process of constructing the main road, the road in the front of the landfill, because we realize that especially in the rainy season when the rain falls and that road gets really messed, persons do not drive into the landfill to dump. They do it right in the road. So we have decided, well, Solid Waste have decided to assist in the construction of that road leading to the landfill, and various other proposals were also tabled. I believe that following that we would see a fencing of the landfill together with designating tipping areas. So for instance, different types of waste will be tipped at different location. And of course, we'll be having a constant covering of the waste as they are so deposited there. Also, a certain bomb will be constructed and will be enclosed around the landfill to ensure that much debris does not go into the sea, the Dumfries Sea. So all of these was approved by Cabinet, and we have started the rollout with respect to the Dumfries area.
You mentioned, of course, trying to grow the Masters competition, which I think is excellent and it's good for our economy.
Yes.
And of course for the exposure of beautiful Carriacou, Petermatic, and the country as a whole. You spoke about, of course, having a fourth ground. Any considerations as to exactly where we're looking at?
Well, we're looking at Mount Pleasant. We're also looking at possible Bogles, and there are some other areas that is that the senior coach is presently trying to identify. But we are on the hunt. We are searching.
Hold the final ball now. P.T. Martinic.
Yes.
We have a playing field in P.T. Martinic. We all know.
Yes.
But you would agree with me that it's basically inadequate to host a football game, a cricket match of that nature. It's so small. Would I be right in saying that the window is still open, despite the fact that government doesn't have any crownlands in P.T. Martinic? Would I be right in saying, overcooking my suggestion, that we still have the window open to look for an alternative venue on the side of P.T. Martinic?
Of course. The windows are never shut, and we will never shut the window on any idea of that nature with respect to P.T. Martinic. But, Raw, let me tell you that, yes, it is small, but recently we have done some work there to upgrade it and to make it fit for the purpose for which it was built, for which it was constructed. And so while it is small in size, but it continues to serve a valuable purpose for the people of P.T. Martinic, whom I know appreciates it very much. So it's never a wise idea to shut the window on anything, and we won't shut the window on this one as well. Thank you for your questions. Okay. With respect to the building in his borough, I have recently made a plea for same to come under the leadership of the Ministry of Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs. We are hoping to use that space to accommodate some of our staff at the main administrative building in Hillsborough. So essentially, we are interested in using that building for office space for use by the Ministry of Carriacou and Petit Martinique.
Okay, so what will be happening to the jetty?
Well, the last time both the PS and myself met with the general manager for the Grenada Ports Authority, we were advised that the Hillsborough jetty will be demolished. Because as you are aware, that same is now unfit. The structure is unsound for use, and so that jetty will be demolished. However, before same is demolished, I'm advised and informed that a small jetty will be constructed nearer to the fish market in Hillsborough for persons, seamen, fishers will be able to have access to the fish market to get their eyes, bring in the fish, and for, of course, persons from Petit Martinique to utilize in order for them to have access to Hillsborough.
Okay. Miss, you said work on Bishop's College is delayed. How soon we might see actual work starting on the building?
I really do not want to give you a month or a date, because we have done so in the past, and as of today's date, it has not yet started. And so what I can say is that we are closer to seeing start of this work. I've spoken with the Minister of Education just yesterday regarding Bishop's College, and she advised that everything is in order, and of course we should set to roll out very soon. But again, I do not wish to commit a date or time for you to hold me accountable.
One more question. With the port being moved, what sort of plans you all have in place to kind of stimulate some economic activities in Hillsborough?
Well, to me, I'm not sure whether or not economic activity in the Hillsborough area have significantly dwindled as a result of the movement of the port. I hope that's what you're asking. However, we continue to work closely with the businesses in town. We believe that with added investments, with added attraction, that more life, more economic activity will be brought to Hillsborough. So all in all, the Hillsborough will remain the tongue. I remember that there was some time when, in Grenada, for instance, when there were a movement away from St. George's into Grand Anse, and people were concerned about, well, Grand Anse will be the new tongue, and all the banks and everything is going down to Grand Anse. And that didn't happen. St. George's remained St. George's, and Grand Anse is now Grand Anse, two viable economic spaces. So I can't see why the same thing cannot happen in Carriacou, and I know it will happen because it is happening. Harveyville, as you know, it's a tourist belt. Is an area where persons visit by a yacht, of course now with the boat. It is an area that is picking up economically. We've had the addition of the supermarket and other business ventures in that particular area. As a matter of fact, go there on a Friday or a Saturday night, and the heartbeat basically of the nightlife is now in Harveyville. That does not take away from what is happening in Hillsborough. Hillsborough too have its own vibes and it have its own life. And so it's a matter of complementing each other. I have no doubt. I'm not scared. I'm not bothered. Hillsborough tongue will remain a viable economic tongue for the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique.
We are in the dry season, and they're kind of predicting that it will be an extended one. What's in place for persons like, say, farmers in terms of water shortage? Well,
the plant is up and running, of course, at a cost. Persons have to purchase the water. It's not exorbitant. The cost is quite amenable. Also, through the ministry, we would start the water distribution process, where we'll be going to the different villages, throughout Carriacou and Petit Martinique, to distribute water on specific days and times. Those dates and time will be announced publicly, so that persons in a particular area will be aware and be able to have access to that water. But we continue to monitor the dry season. At one point in time in the year, we thought that it would not have been as prolonged, but now we're in the middle of May almost, and we believe now that it's going to be a tough one. So we are putting systems in place to ensure that not just farmers, but other persons have access to this vital resource. Thank you.
All right,
sweating.
Right. Well, let me just look at the youth side of it first. Any plans or further plans for youth development? I know you spoke about the Imani program and also the Empower program. For the people who are not currently engaged or attached, how soon can we see some more people coming on? I hope I'm not putting you on a spot.
No, you're not. The fact is, we are not sure yet. As you know, this Imani program, it's something that is operated throughout the state, not just Carriacou. So it has to be a holistic plan, to put on an additional group. Although, Mr. Lendo, you may know that we are in need of an additional 2 groups to keep up and to be in line with what is happening in Grenada. But of course, that program continues to serve its purpose. But I don't believe that is a program that we should depend on to solve all of our problems as it relates to gainfully employing our youthful population. And as a country, as a government, as a ministry, and as a division, we have to look at creative ways in which we can find creative ways, as I said, to ensure that our youth are more employable, to ensure that we bring real youth development to our people. And I think that we are heading in the right direction, and we should not only depend on the Imani program or the Empower program to do so. Thanks.
The lighting of the Hillsborough playing field. Now, can you elaborate a little bit more? And I'll tell you why, because at the moment we have the softball cricket that is on. And interestingly, just this morning, one of the representatives from the Royal Grenada Police Force, they're asking if we can do more.
Yes.
And, just even putting it a little bit later than the regular 4:30 and 5 o'clock.
I have disappointing news for you, Mr. Lendo, in that it would not happen before the finals of that competition. I mean, I would love for that to happen. But of course, with the whole tendering process, it usually takes some time. This is something that I've started working on as late last year. And we have submitted the proposal, and it is now in the tendering process. So in the next 2 weeks or so, we should have a contractor, should be awarded a contract. And I'm advised that most of the equipment for the lighting of the field will come from China. That too will take some time in terms of importation to get here. And when it gets here, then of course we have to install and we have to set up. So we're looking at some time. But it is my hope that it will be done before the end of the year. I'm working towards the end of the year. So hopefully next year's competition we'll be able to have it played under the lights. Yes. So thank you for your questions. I hope that we are all now in a better place and now understand all that is being done within the Ministry of Carriacou and Petite Martinique, and by extension the constituency of Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Thank you once again. Thank you for listening. And this we pledge to make it to do this every quarter, so every 3 months. The ministry, myself, the permanent secretary, will bring you live updates and information as it relates to the work in the ministry. Thank you for listening.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.